Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual-clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Welcome to Rogers Center and happy Victoria Day. It's a beautiful day here in Toronto. 23 degrees. The roof is wide open. The Angels are in town for 4 games, and the Blue Jays are happy to be back home. Mike Scioscia in his 16th season is the helm of the Angels. Take a look at the lineup for Scioscia here this afternoon. Right at the top of the order, Eric Aybar. He's hot. He's got an 8-game hit streak, 14 for 29, and he scored 6 runs. He is a pretty good bunter, and the Blue Jays are going to have to shorten up on him in the infield. And Albert Pujols, this guy can flat out hit, and he's hitting right at his career average against the Blue Jays, .330 with 4 homers and 12 RBIs. Pujols and Trout, 2 big bats in this lineup for the Angels.
And it's a team that has really struggled to score some runs, the Los Angeles Angels. That is the lineup that Todd Redmond will face. He just comes up from AAA Buffalo. Make his first start of the season in his 3rd appearance. He was designated for assignment back on April the 16th, made the team out of spring training, pitched out of the bullpen, and this is what the Blue Jays have done in the past. They brought a pitcher up from the minor leagues to give him a spot start here and there. Liam Hendricks did it a couple of times last season for the Blue Jays. Todd Redmond gets to do it this time. He's faced the Angels 3 times in 2014, all of them in relief. He did not allow a run over 8 2/3 innings in 2014. He does have 1 career start versus them, but his career ERA in 4 games, 2.19 against the Angels.
He's pitched well against the Angels. He's going to need some help with the defense, and with that, we take a look at the outfield defense. Danny Valencia, Kevin Pillar, and Chris Colabello from left to right in the outfield. On the infield, it's Josh Donaldson. Ryan Goins continues to play shortstop in the absence of Jose Reyes. Steve Tolleson starting at second for the 2nd straight day. Jones at first, and Russell Martin behind the plate for Todd Redmond.
And Todd is a fly ball type of pitcher, so the outfielders are very important, especially this guy out in center field. We haven't called his name for a couple of days. He's played great outfield for the Blue Jays. Kevin Pillar in center field.
Kevin Pillar is in center field, and this is his 24th start in center today. Redmond is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's outside for a ball, and we are underway. Eric Aybar, the leadoff man, we mentioned his 8-game hit streak. He has scored 6 runs over those 8 games and beats it on the ground. 2 Hopper to Goins. 1 up, 1 down. Well, Mike Trout's just 23 years old, but he has made an impact in his young career. You take a look at the MVP finishes for Mike Trout. He finished 2nd in 2012, his first full season, 3rd in 2013, both times to Miguel Cabrera, and then last year he won unanimous choice MVP.
Yeah, think about it. If Miguel Cabrera didn't have the fantastic seasons like he has had, he could have 3 straight MVP awards.
Mike Trout is thrown out, and Encarnacion dropped the ball, but he had already received it, so there's 2 quick outs here.
Mike Trout a couple of seasons ago finished 2nd when Cabrera won the Triple Crown, so that's obviously a Cabrera MVP. And then last year Cabrera, or excuse me, 2 years ago, and then finally he overtook him. What a talent, and we get a chance to watch him now for 4 days.
Well, as I mentioned, Trout second, and first in the MVP voting, and as you saw, he runs everything out no matter where it's hit. He's a great leader on this ball club, just 23 years old. So here is the veteran of the ball club, Albert Pujols. Upstairs for a ball. Pujols batting just .231. 6 homers and 14 RBIs. He really hasn't captured that offensive production he had in St. Louis with the Cardinals since he signed with the Angels.
Yeah, not yet, but he's always dangerous. Over 500 home runs. In fact, he's the 3rd youngest player to reach 500 home runs in his career.
Good pitch right at the bottom of the zone. Redmond is ahead 1-2.
He'll do that every now and then. Todd Redmond dropped down against a right-handed batter to show him a little something different. He'll also throw that changeup with a split grip.
Slider. Hey, nice start for Todd Redmond. 3 up, 3 down in the first. It took him just 7 pitches to retire the side in order. Disappointing road trip, 1-6 through Baltimore and Houston. Take a look at the lineup. It's a little bit different look with Josh Donaldson hitting in the leadoff spot and Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion. On this past road trip, he hit 4 home runs, and he just really didn't have a very consistent road trip. He did some damage. He hit 4 of the 6 Blue Jay home runs on that road trip. Danny Valencia has been wearing out left-handers. That's why he's in the 5th spot in the lineup, matched up against C.J. Wilson of the Angels this afternoon.
C.J. Wilson making his 8th start of the season, 4th on the road. This is his 11th Major League season. Last time out, he earned the win and pitched one of his most effective games of the season. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, going 8 innings. That's the longest outing of the season. He's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 5 consecutive starts, so he's on a roll right now for the Angels.
He has done a terrific job since coming to the Angels. His 76 wins since 2010 are the second most in the American League among left-handed pitchers. Josh Donaldson hitting in the leadoff spot. John Gibbons trying to snap the offense out of a mini slump. They didn't hit well on the road trip. Evan Travis is out of the lineup for a 2nd straight day, so he just pushed the lineup up 1.
Move everybody up. Make sure you get Bautista, Encarnacion, Donaldson all hitting in the 1st inning.
Donaldson does his job. Leadoff single to start the game for Donaldson. Take a look at the Angels defensively in the outfield. Colin Cowgill is in left field. Mike Trout's in center, and Cole Calhoun in right. This is a very good outfield. The veteran David Freese at 3rd base. Eric Ibar and Johnny Giavotella up the middle. Albert Pujols at 1st, and Chris Ionetta, veteran catcher, handles C.J. Wilson.
Angels are one of 2 Major League teams without an outfield error this season. St. Louis, the other one, and leading the charge is that guy right there. He's made some highlight film catches already this season. He's one of the best out there in center.
Jose Bautista takes a breaking ball for his strike. It is a bright day here with the roof open. You can see defenders and hitters alike wearing those sunglasses, trying to cut down on the glare. Outside.
One of the things that C.J. Wilson has done better this year is he's cut his walks down. He's throwing more quality strikes, more quality pitches, and that's why his record and his earned run average reflect that. 260 earned run average.
Inside off the plate.
Watching him here, these first 2 batters, looks like he's trying to be very careful. First with Donaldson and now Bautista.
Well, it's a dangerous lineup for sure. And 1st inning's always a challenge for a starter to get settled in. Off the plate outside, everything is down. We have seen Bautista, as you look at Encarnacion on deck, since he's hurt his shoulder, pitchers have a tendency to pitch him up maybe thinking that he can't get on top of that high pitch.
He hasn't. He's been hitting a lot of long fly balls.
Bouncing ball, base hit through the left side, into left. 2 on, nobody out. Let's check in with Barry Davis.
Well, Buck, a big day for Jose Bautista because before today's game, he did throw a baseball. It was in the cages. He threw about 40 feet away and felt okay, continues to progress. But a very, very important day for him because, as you know, it's been an awfully long time before he's even attempted to throw a baseball, and this means he is on the way to recovery soon.
Well, that's good news for the Blue Jays, Barry, certainly. And Bautista, they need him in right field. He's one of the best right fielders in the game. First and second. John Gibbons looks like a genius so far.
Well, that's what you want to do, right? As manager, bunch your best hitters up, get them together, get them at the top of the lineup so you can strike quickly in the first inning.
And we always note that starters have a tendency to have trouble in the first inning. So put all your best hitters, bunch them up there. This is Edwin Encarnacion. Big cut. He swings at that breaking ball. C.J. Wilson, this is his 11th Major League season. He is 6th as a starter. 4th season with the Angels. He signed as a free agent after pitching in Texas with the Rangers.
And he has had his troubles here at Rogers Center. He really has, both as a starter and a reliever. When he was a reliever with the Texas Rangers, he's only won 1 game here, and his ERA is over 5.
He's given up 31 hits coming into this game in 31 2/3 innings. Ball on the strike. That ball is fouled up the right side. We mentioned C.J. Wilson is on a roll, then he has really been consistent over his last 5 starts.
Great earned run average, bonus batting average, whip. I think the biggest thing is he's cut his walks in half from last year. And in the month of May, his earned run average is just over 2. He's had 2 walks over his 3 May starts. That's very important when you throw quality strikes like that.
It hasn't translated into wins and losses. He's just 1-1 for those last 5 starts. Here he strikes out Encarnacion. 1 down. Well, C.J. Wilson says he has reinvented himself 6 times as he has become a starter in this season compared to last season. The numbers are much better.
There's the earned run average, about half of what it was last year, and the whip. And it really translates to walks. His walks last season were 4.5. He's down to 2 per 9 innings this season. He's always had great movement on his pitches. At times it seems like he nibbles a little bit too much. His stuff is outstanding. If he just attacks the strike zone just a little bit more, you're going to see better results.
Russell Martin in the cleanup spot. Blue Jays trying to take the lead here in the first. Runners at first and second. Donaldson singled. Bautista singled. Another pitch on the corner. Ball on the strike to Martin. Russell Martin just 1 for 6 against C.J. Wilson. Inside off the plate, and Pat, you made a great point. C.J. Wilson will not throw pitches down the middle of the plate.
At times, again, he'll nibble and try and make the perfect pitch. One of the things that he's done a little bit better this year is he shot to the middle of the plate, a lot like Aaron Sanchez. Shoot to the middle of the plate and let that great natural movement take it to the corners. Watch Chris Iannetta, the catcher this afternoon for the Los Angeles Angels. He's not moving around a lot behind the plate.
Yeah, I think sometimes catchers can move to the corners too much, especially when you got a guy like C.J. Wilson where the ball moves a lot. He throws a lot of breaking balls, throws the curveball, and his fastball runs. So give him a big target right in the middle of the plate and let that ball work to the corners.
And he's got a full arsenal of pitches. Changeup, curveball, cutter, fastball, slider, a little bit of everything.
Bouncing ball. Ibar it's short. Second for 1. That's all they're going to get. Good job by Bautista. with that hard slide. Gio Vitella couldn't make a throw to first, and the inning is still alive. Martin's at first on the fielder's choice.
And this is where the slow turf for teams that are just coming in here really has a problem with the teams. It took a long time for that to develop. As you see, Bautista, it gives him a chance to get into the legs of Johnny Giovitello at second base and break it up, keep the inning alive. It took a long time for that ball to reach Eric Ibar at shortstop.
Yeah, the Angels playing on this surface for the first time. The Blue Jays are a little more used to the speed of this turf. Danny Valencia. He was just 2 for 6 on the road trip. Of course, Valencia has been terrific against lefties. He has hit well against C.J. Wilson, 6 for 18. Been a pretty consistent clutch hitter as well. Another pitch right on the corner. Danny Valencia against lefty pitching overall this season. He's hitting .545. So you're going to call his number anytime you have a lefty on the mound.
And you know what? Put him in an RBI spot in the lineup too, which they have done. That breaking ball is going to come into him.
Valencia had a pretty good look at that, thought it was down. Checking with Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire. You know, it's hard for hitters. They try to work for a good pitch, and they see a pitch all the way and think it's out of the strike zone, and that really flips the count from 2-1 to 1-2. Now, Valencia has to go after that pitch. May have broken his bat.
Boy, that just speaks to the kind of stuff that C.J. Wilson has. He ran that fastball right in on Valencia's hands. He's got to get a new piece of wood.
Mike Scioscia, as we mentioned, this is his 16th season managing the Angels. He was a big league catcher for 15 years. He said the most important aspect of a catcher is catching that 1-1 pitch. It swings the count in the pitcher's favor if you do a good job and get it to 1-2.
Just puts the hitter on a defensive when you're 1-2. You got to swing at anything. If it was 2-1, I guarantee you Danny doesn't swing at that last pitch.
Outside. Yeah, he's got to expand his zone now with 2 strikes, of course, and he has a chance to drive in a run with 2 outs.
Look where it was on pitch track. It was that number 4 pitch, the 4th pitch of the at bat. Look how far inside it was, but because it was 1-2, he had to swing to try and protect.
Boy, he had a good cut. They got a pitch to hit right out over the plate and fouled it straight back. Hit like another hack at that one. Mike Scioscia and his pitching coach Mike Butcher. This is the 16th season, as we mentioned. Scioscia with 1,350 wins. Right back to Wilson. Valencia hit it hard, but right back to the pitcher. The Blue Jays get back-to-back singles to start the game, but C.J. Wilson leaves 2 aboard, scoreless after 1.
Place your bids on one-of-a-kind Blue Jays experiences and prizes. Proceeds support the Jays Care Foundation. Visit bluejays.com/broadcast auction for more details. Ivanka Osmak always does a great job from the auction, Buck.
She sure does, and we always look forward to that. That'll be on Thursday, and it all starts at 6:30 Eastern Time. Ivanka does a terrific job as the hostess of that auction. Lots of great items, so make sure you tune in and check it out. Lots of great opportunities to get some Blue Jays experiences and maybe a trip down for BP, a pitching lesson, all of those great things on that list. Todd Redmond, a good start to his ball game, goes after Cole Calhoun here, and that ball is a fly ball to Danny Valencia in left. One pitch, one out here in the second.
You are going to see that from the Los Angeles Angels. They do not mess around. Should be a good matchup, I think, for Todd Redmond. He throws a lot of first pitch strikes. He throws a lot of fastballs. So this is a team, the Angels, who go up there swinging. They don't see a lot of pitches per at bat. They go up there swinging.
And they're trying to hit their way out of this early season slump. You see the numbers for most of them. Freese, the third baseman, 222. Looked like a pretty good pitch. He didn't get the call on that high fastball. Two and 0. First one looked like a strike.
Certainly looked like it got the top of the strike zone, didn't it?
There's another fly ball to left. Valencia broke back. He's got plenty of time. He recovers and makes the catch. Well, we talk about the Angels swinging it, and you look at the pitches per plate appearance in the American League. The Royals are top of the list, but the Angels are right there with them.
They go up there swinging. They're an aggressive bunch, and a lot like their hitting coach. Don Baylor was a very aggressive type of hitter. The Royals, White Sox, those are two good offensive, and the Angels at just under 4.
Don Baylor was the MVP for the Angels, one of 3 MVPs the Angels have had in their franchise history. Mike Trout, Don Baylor, and Vladimir Guerrero. It's a short list of pretty impressive players. Baylor now the hitting coach. This is Mark Krause batting. It's not Matt Joyce. Krause wasn't in our original lineup. Joyce was in the lineup, but this is Krause.
Yeah, just brought up from the minor leagues to try and give them a little bit of extra from that left-handed side. Told you they've had their problems against the right-handed pitchers. Krause just came up from the minor leagues. He's from the Houston Astros organization, and he'll like to work the count. He's a little bit different than the rest of the Angels. There is Joyce, who was in the original starting lineup as the designated hitter.
We saw Krause last year with Houston. He spent the last 2 seasons with Houston, and here he takes a 2-out walk. So an interesting development. We mentioned that the Angels are just trying to do the same thing as the Blue Jays. They put Cole Calhoun in the cleanup spot today, just trying to spark the offense and see if they can't get something going.
Trying to get something from their cleanup hitter. Over their last 13 days, they've had no RBIs from their cleanup hitter.
This is the catcher, Chris Iannetta. He's batting just 123. A lot of hitters on the interstate in this lineup, and Mike Scioscia told us before the game. Just about every game into the 6th and 7th inning, it's 2-1, one way or the other.
His team up or his team down. He said we can't keep putting our pitchers up against the wall like that. We've got to bust out of it somehow.
Boy, Todd Redmond's getting squeezed. And remember, the Blue Jay hitters, Danny Valencia especially, thought that he had a couple calls go against him. And look at those pitches. Russell Martin now is having a conversation with the home plate umpire, Manny Gonzalez. So, Manny, let me know what I got to do to get a strike here.
Yeah, that ball looked like it was right there, right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Well, if you went by pitch tracker, Chris Iannetta would be out. 3 strikes in the zone, and it's a 2-1 count. There's a fly ball into center field. Pilar ranging over into the alley. He is there. 3 fly ball outs for Todd Redmond. Still wondering about that strike zone.
This roster of baseball experts takes you beyond the game. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram using the hashtag Blue Jays. And already the hot topic of conversation on social media, guys, is this strike zone, which has been very odd so far.
Well, it sure has, Barry. A little bit questionable. I think Manny Gonzalez acknowledged that fact after that last half inning. Great day to be up on the CN Tower. Beautiful view. You see Donaldson and Russell Martin talking about C.J. Wilson. You see Donaldson has cleaned up his beard, shaved a little bit, maybe in an effort to change his look.
It worked.
Yep.
First time up. Alenia, single.
This is Chris Colabello. Colabello continues to get his base hits. Colabello on the road trip had 9 hits, most of the Blue Jays lineup. He hit 321 over the 7 games.
And he has shown some patience too. He really has. They get a chance the next couple of days to face some left-handers. And he has been patient enough to get that count to 3-0.
Hector Santiago goes tomorrow, so he certainly will be in there against Santiago. How about that? 4-pitch walk, start the inning. Well, the Blue Jays got a couple aboard against Wilson in the first. They left 2 runners on. Colabello takes a walk. For Chris, that's his 3rd walk since coming up. This is his 13th game. So Kevin Pillar will step in. Pillar grew up in Angel territory. He grew up in the San Fernando Valley of Southern California. A.J. Wilson coming after the bottom. Let's see how he attacks the bottom of this order compared to the way he pitched to the top.
He looked very, in that first inning, it looked like he wanted to pitch around some of those hitters, especially after Donaldson and Bautista opened the inning with a single. 23 pitches to get through that first inning. And now the bottom of the lineup. And I think the guy, excuse me, Buck, at the bottom of the lineup should know that. They're going to see a lot of fastballs. So get ready to turn on them.
C.J. Wilson was just about to start his delivery, and then time was called by the umpire. Yeah, you're right. I think the bottom of the order will probably get some fastballs. Tollefson will follow Pillar with Colabello at first. C.J. Wilson still trying to get zeroed in on that strike zone.
2-1 right now. Kevin Pillar could look for one pitch in one zone right here.
Pitch was down and away, and he went with it, but it sliced into the seats. If you said Kevin Pillar has a strength, what would it be in your mind as far as where he likes the ball?
I think he's a low ball hitter. He looks like a low ball hitter to me. He's been trying to use his hands just a little bit more. He gets into trouble when he starts to get his body, too much of his body into his swing.
Oh, Kevin didn't like that pitch, and you can see why. It appeared to be off the plate inside, and now Gonzalez is giving it back to him, and the Blue Jays have questioned his strike zone from the mound, and now at the plate as well.
I think he has an argument because Pillar has been out in center field, and he has seen where all those pitches were that were called balls, and now he hits. And that number 5 pitch looks like it's inside, and he's like, okay, you've been calling that a ball here the first couple of innings. I've sat out there in center field. And that one he thought was off the plate. It certainly looks like it from overhead, and then unfortunately it's strike 3.
Yeah, and that's the tough part of it. You work counts, you protect the plate with 2 strikes, and then get called out on a ball that looked to be off the plate. Steve Tolleson had a good game in Houston yesterday. Had a pair of doubles and a 2 for 4 off speed pitch. He's out in front.
I asked him about that today around the batting cage. It's a good game, a couple of good doubles in yesterday's game, but the one at bat he wanted to talk about was his last at bat, the one against Luke Gregerson.
He struck out on a wicked slider with a couple of board. He said, that's when I needed a double.
Yeah, exactly. Hitters are like that, aren't they? You have a good game like that, but the only one they can remember is the one in the 9th inning.
Well, especially when you're an extra player like Tolleson. You can have a good game, but if you have a chance to help your team win, that's the at-bat that really sticks out. That's a fair ball inside the bag at third. Colabello's around second. He's headed for third. Tolleson is into second, standing as the throw goes to third. So Tolleson, 3 straight doubles in his last 2 games. Just inside the bag at third.
Just kept that one fair down the left field line by David Freese, the third baseman. Colin Cowgill, the left fielder. Watch this ball. First of all, as it goes by the bag down the left field line, did a heck of a job to hustle over there and cut that ball off before it hit the wall. Everybody on the Angels was talking about how slow the turf is here. So he hustled in, caught the ball before it got to the wall, and thought he had a chance to get Colabello. But Chris, with a very aggressive slide into third base, makes it.
This is Ryan Goins, lefty on lefty here for Goins. Infield is back. Actually, they're a little bit halfway in the middle. Colabello doesn't run well. It'll be interesting to see if there's a ground ball to short or second. Now, the second baseman, Giovitella, has backed up a bit.
Slow turf. Remember, it's a slow turf. Anything to the corners, though, I think they're going to come home if Colabello goes home.
Goins really has to grind here against C.J. Wilson for the season. Goins is just 2 for 17 against lefties. The Blue Jays haven't been able to come up with a big hit. They're over their last 17 with runners in scoring position.
You know, you don't need a base hit right here to score a run. That's the beauty of it. Just make contact. 1 and 2 with 2 strikes. C.J. Wilson actually likes to throw his fastball a lot. Throws it about 45% of the time.
Bouncing ball, that'll score a run. Whoa, maybe not. It does. Pujols came home. He barehanded it. C.J. Wilson wasn't going to have a play on it. Colabello broke on contact and slides in head first with the first run of the game. But Pujols made a pretty good throw. Iannetta came up in front of home plate, and Goins picks up the RBI.
Well, it looked like Iannetta was pointing to first base saying, go to first base with the ball, and he was surprised. Watch him. Pointing to first base, go to first. They weren't going to get Goins at first base, and I thought a heads-up play by Pujols to come home. He had a shot at him.
Yeah, there's no reason for the catcher to say first base, and Pujols, he's got no play at first base. So Iannetta stays home. He's got a shot at Colabello. But because he was out in front of home plate, Colabello was able to slide in safely. It's a base hit for Goins and an RBI, and the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. So that snaps that streak of 0 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Donaldson had a sharp single to center his first time up.
And he, too, has been wearing out the left-hander. This is the right guy at the plate for the Blue Jays.
Donaldson is batting .440 coming into this game against lefty pitching. Boy, the bottom of the order, we talked about C.J. Wilson having a different approach to the bottom of the order. He walked Colabello, gave up a double, now a single. Now he's got to deal with the tough part of the lineup.
Both of those hits, the Tollison double and the Goins single, were on 2 strikes. He was that close to getting him out. But some good 2-strike approach by the 8 and 9 hitters.
Well, and that's deflating for a pitcher, especially when you're down in the bottom of the order. I'm a strike away from getting out of this. Wilson's having a tough time getting the right pitch he wants. That's a fair ball just inside the bag. Tollison's in to score. Goins better hurry up to third to head for a slide, and he is out. Boy, we have seen Colin Cowgill make 2 good plays here in left field. That ball was down into the corner, going first to third. He cut off a big runner there at third base with a strong throw.
Just like the double from Tollison, he hustled over there and cut the ball off before it got to the wall. He knows how slow it is. Here's another 0-2 hit by the Blue Jays. Right over the bag and by Freese, but a good job by Cow to get over there, cut the ball off, and then come up throwing. Freese gets up, and he's ready to get the tag at third base. You can see how far in front of the wall he is to cut that ball off, and a nice play.
That's the second outfield assist for Cowgill. That's his first from left field. Now Bautista goes after the first pitch. It's a breaking ball. So Tollison scores. Donaldson picks up the RBI, his 26th. Donaldson's 2 for 2 already.
That is 3 straight 2-strike hits by the Blue Jays.
Off the plate inside. Again, you can see the approach is totally different with the top of the order. Now C.J. Wilson is very cautious pitching to these power hitters.
Trying to hit the corner, using the breaking ball just a little bit more.
Not even close. There's trouble on deck as well for C.J. Wilson. Encarnacion hit 4 home runs on the last road trip. Green light, swinging 3-0, and that ball is past Cowgill. And here comes Donaldson. He's in to score. Bautista stops at second with an RBI 2-out double. A 3-run inning.
They have come this close, the Los Angeles Angels, of getting out of this inning. But it's another ball down the left field line that Cowgill almost comes up with. Ball looked like it was hit right off the end of the bat by Bautista as C.J. Wilson took a little something off of that pitch. And he drives it down the left field line. Here comes Cowgill. Look at how close he comes. Just off of his glove. So that will score the 3rd run. And Bautista will have the 3rd double of the inning.
And it all started with a leadoff walk to Chris Colabello, number 6 hitter. Kevin Pillar, when you really think about it, he was called out on a very questionable call for the first out of the inning. Goins got thrown out trying to go first to third. But Goins, Donaldson, now Bautista, all with RBIs here in the second. Donaldson's hit is ruled a single, and he advances to second base on the throw. I don't agree with that at all.
Oh, right over the bag.
That gets away from Ionetta. Well, this has turned into an ugly inning for the Angels. And remember, the Angels are having all kinds of trouble scoring runs. They find themselves down 3-0.
C.J. Wilson, it's all falling apart for him in this inning. Breaking ball to Encarnacion, curveball in the dirt, and that one rolls right up Ionetta's glove into the backstop.
The Angels have won 5 of their last 6 games coming into this game today. This is the 4th game of a 10-game East Coast road trip. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston. That's over the Angels' dugout out of play. The Angels got shut out yesterday in Baltimore. Steve Wright, big 6'6" right-hander, really slammed the door on him. Todd Redmond making his first start of the season. Sitting back chilling, watching his hitters give him a lead. Bautista had a 3-0 base hit double on RBI. And he moved to third base on the wild pitch. Another ball in the dirt. It's a full count.
He doesn't have his full arsenal. He doesn't have a breaking ball that he can throw for strikes right now. So he has got to be able to put that fastball where he needs to.
T.J. Wilson has been very good on the road. Russell Martin would be next if Encarnacion can reach base. Wilson, a 125 earned run average over his 3 road starts. Base hit, just tipped off the glove of David Freese, and Bautista jogs home with the 4th Blue Jay run of the inning. RBI for Encarnacion, his 25th.
You know, we talk about a game of inches baseball. Well, it's been a game of inches just in this inning alone. That is another ball that is hit square by Encarnacion, and it's just out of the reach again by an Angels defender as Freese dives, and it's off of his glove. Blue Jays will certainly take it. 4-0 with that base hit.
Russell Martin is the 8th man to bat this inning. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Boy, this is the last thing Mike Scioscia wanted to see, having his starter roughed up in the 2nd inning of a 4-game series.
4-game series. He's going to have to find it. He's going to have to find it fast so he can get some innings out of his starter.
You just never know what's going to develop over the course of the next 3 games, and when your starter gets roughed up and has the potential of getting knocked out early, that can really throw your bullpen in disarray. Nobody knows that better than the Blue Jays. Another ball in the dirt, and you're right, C.J. Wilson really scuffling here. He threw 23 pitches in the first. He's up to 57 now, and it's 2 outs in the second.
Can't get his breaking ball over. He has to find that release point. has not been able to find it. Nothing wrong with his stuff. He's just falling behind hitters.
Base hit. Russell Martin shoots one into right, and Encarnacion will stop at second. That's the 6th hit of the inning. The 8th hit overall against C.J. Wilson. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, on the horn to the bullpen.
When you fall behind and you can't get your breaking ball over, you got to come to him. And that's a fastball, and Russell slaps it to right field for another base hit.
Danny Valencia grounded out to the pitcher, hit a ball sharply right back to C.J. Wilson. That ended the first. Valencia is the 9th man to bat in the second. Valencia, you can see him going after that pitch. He had a couple pitches go against him in the first inning, so he's not going to take anything close. Vinny Pistano starting to loosen up for the Angels.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to be swinging at anything close, especially with 2 strikes now.
And the fact you got a runner in scoring position, first and second, 2 outs. Ground ball. David Freese goes to second. That ends the inning. But 9 men go to the plate. They score 4 runs on 6 hits. Edwin Encarnacion caps it off. An RBI base hit that makes it 4-0 Blue Jays.
Devin Travis feels better. I spoke to him today. He says that the shoulder's still a little bit sore, but he is making progress. There's 2 reasons why the Blue Jays are resting him today. Number 1, they want to give him that extra day. His body's been beaten up pretty good over the first month and a half of the season. Reason number 2, he's been struggling lately. Over the last few weeks, he's hitting under 200. I talked to Travis about that today, guys. He says what he's understanding right now is it's not always about the batting average. He doesn't have to always look and see 3 for 4, 2 for 4. He just wants good at-bats, good contact. As long as he's doing that, he knows he's going to be on the right track. And that's a pretty mature way of looking at things for a young player.
You know, Barry, the batting average only really matters at the end of the season. That's what you're going to hit, and that's what will go with you. But Devin is a very mature young man, 24-year-old rookie. He got hit on that one hopper in Cleveland, and he is reluctant to tie his shoulder problems to that one incident, but certainly had to have an impact.
Yeah, and it's had an impact in his swing. And then pitchers are starting to pitch him a little bit different, a little bit more breaking balls, and they've kept the ball away from his power.
This is popped up behind the mound. Redmond backing up, and Tollison saves the day. Steve Tollison came out of nowhere. Goins, Encarnacion, Redmond all kind of backed off, and Tollison with the sliding catch.
Well, it didn't look like anybody wanted to take control of this right here. A little humpback liner over the pitcher's mound, except Steve Tollison. He takes control, calls it. And with a sliding catch, as you see Redmond get out of the way, Tollison makes the play.
Yeah, Tollison right at the end did call for it, and that's why you saw Redmond and Goins both back out of the play. This is Johnny Giovatello, the second baseman. The Angels traded Howie Kendrick to the Dodgers, and boy, missing Howie Kendrick in this lineup has had a big impact offensively. Todd Redmond is in a groove. Only one base runner to reach base so far.
Well, you've got a lead. It's 4-0. It's early. Use your fastball. Make them hit their way on.
Perfect slider down and away. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Redmond.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Beautiful day for this Victoria Day Monday, and lots of people out enjoying the great weather. Eric Ibar, he's a free swinger. He steps up there and hacks at the first pitch. Ibar grounded out to shortstop his first time up. The Angels have won 8 of their last 11 games, and they have crept into the picture behind the Houston Astros in the AL West.
Come into this game a game over 500. They're doing it on the strength of their pitching staff, their starters, and their bullpen.
It's a fly ball into center field. Pilar calling for it, and Falabella will peel out of the way. Just 9 pitches for Todd Redmond, who is dealing early.
Presented by Acura. Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Beautiful holiday Monday here in Toronto. The roof is wide open. CN Tower next door. And the aquarium right next door to the CN Tower. This has become a great destination for tourists to come down to this part of the city. Come to a ball game, take in the aquarium, and walk around the CN Tower.
Outside.
Of course. Chris Colabello started that 4-run rally in the second. He had a leadoff walk against C.J. Wilson. I got a clarification on the scoring in question. We had the mention of Josh Donaldson. He was given a single. My friend Mike Shalin, who keeps score for the Boston games in Fenway Park, former writer for Boston papers, sent me a message that said you can't give a hitter a double if the runner in front of him doesn't advance 2 bases. Goins was thrown out at third, so that is a situation where he has to be given a single.
And takes second on the throw?
Yep.
So if he doesn't hit that with a runner on, he's got a double.
Yep.
Bad timing.
But he'll take the RBI.
Oh, yeah.
3-1 to Chris Colabello. He had a good hack. That's a 3-1 swing if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, try and do some damage. Try and do some damage 3-1. See how far you can hit it.
Kevin Pillar struck out looking in the second. This is the first time Colabello has faced C.J. Wilson. Colabello just over 360 at bats coming into this season in his major league career. Got a late start, of course. No swing, says the first base umpire Sean Barber. Colabello walks for a second time.
Take a little closer look at this afternoon starter C.J. Wilson and what he throws and how hard he throws it. He'll use the fastball 57% of the time, and it's just over 90 miles an hour. He's got the changeup, the slider, curveball, and he'll cut his fastball 7% of the time. This afternoon, he has not been able to consistently get that slider and that curveball or the changeover, so he's out there right now just trying to command with his fastball, and that's a bad feeling. He has been so good in the month of May. Again, just 2 walks over his 3 May starts. He's already walked Colabello twice this afternoon.
Kevin Pillar swung at that first pitch. He's behind 0-2. A couple of high balls. You mentioned you thought Pillar was a low ball hitter, and C.J. Wilson is of the same mind. Pitching him upstairs.
I don't know if he's doing that on purpose, knowing that Pillar is a low ball hitter. He just has not been able to get that fastball down.
Another ball gets away from Ionetta, and that's a costly 90 feet for the Angels. They're already down 4. They had the double play in order, but now that's erased with the wild pitch.
Another wild pitch, another breaking ball again that he cannot command, control. Down in the dirt. That's textbook form right there by Ionetta, but it just takes a bad hop on him.
Just a little bit late in his move, too. He really didn't get down and squared up, and that's why the ball carried him away. So Pillar now with 2 strikes. 1-2 count. Pokes it to right. Calhoun makes the catch. Colabello's tagging. He's trying to advance. It's a throw, but wide in the mark. Good throw. Just a little to the outfield side of the bag, and Colabello moves up to give Kevin Pillar a productive at bat.
And that's where the 90 feet on the wild pitch comes into play. He gets to second base, and this is a short fly ball to right field, but aggressively he said, I'm going to make Cole Calhoun throw me out. And it's just off target a little bit. Now, Steve Tollefson can hit with a runner at third base in less than 2 outs.
The infield is playing in. Pillar's fly ball to right moves the runner to third, and there's a pop-up on the infield. Giovitella is there, and Tollefson is retired.
Isn't it funny how one pitch can change the outcome of an inning? That wild pitch. gets that runner over to third base with less than 2 outs. Now, C.J. Wilson made a good pitch there to get in on the hands of Tollison, but he should be still over at first base.
So now Ryan Goins, who had a chopper infield base hit, picked up an RBI in the second. He hit a ball just to the first base side of the mound. Pujols barehanded it and came home, but they didn't have a shot at getting Goins at first. That drove in the first run of the game.
I thought that was a heads-up play by Albert Pujols. He's a Gold Glove winner over there at first base. He knew that he had no shot at getting Goins at first base. Took the next best option, and it just didn't work out for him.
Iannetta with a good block on that breaking ball. That one was well in front of home plate in the dirt.
Another curveball. Flips it. And on a curveball, you have no idea once that ball hits the dirt which way it's going to spin.
That's why you got to get out there quickly and give yourself the best opportunity to get an angle on that ball. 2-0 pitch. Hit hard. One hopper to the shortstop Ibar. Goins is thrown out. The Blue Jays will strand the leadoff walk. We'll go to the fourth. Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead. MVP Mike Trout will lead things off against Todd Redmond when we come back. Youngsters through their age 23 season on career WAR, and Mike Trout is the leader of the pack. And look at the names on that list.
WAR, the wins above replacement. It's a complicated formula, but it shows you how good they are. Mike Trout, blown by Griffey Jr., Mickey Mantle, Al Kaline, and Cesar Cedeno, who had a great first 3 seasons of his career. He was the Louisville Silver Slugger Award winner in 2012, 13, and 14. First player in American League history to win the award in their first 3 full big league seasons. Think about that.
Well, he's the total package, obviously, reflective of that WAR. Mike Trout won the MVP, becomes the 5th youngest player to ever win an MVP award. And it's a virtual who's who of baseball. Vida Blue in 71 won with the Oakland A's. Then Johnny Bench in 70. Stan Musial in 43. Cal Ripken Jr. in 83. Then Mike Trout, the 5th youngest to win an MVP award.
You know, and if not for Miguel Cabrera and the great seasons he had in 12 and 13, Trout finished second to Cabrera each one of those seasons.
Yeah, it took a Triple Crown year to beat Trout in the MVP vote. Boy, Redmond is in a groove. 3 strikeouts now. That slider away from Mike Trout.
Sometimes he will drop down and throw a fastball against a right-handed batter, and sometimes he will drop down and watch him spin that slider. Breaking ball. right off the plate. Third strikeout of the afternoon.
Isn't baseball interesting? The Blue Jays designated Todd Redmond. He wasn't pitching well out of the bullpen. They needed a fresh arm. They put him on the DFA list, sent him down to the minors after he cleared waivers, and here he is, stabilizing the rotation.
Making one start in AAA.
There's a deep drive to left. Pujols has just homered. That's his 7th into the second deck. Albert Pujols got that pitch up out over the plate, and the Angels are on the board.
Well, you talk about MVP award winners and Mike Trout. Albert Pujols has 3 of them all by himself with drives like that. Try to slip a fastball by him, but he's still pretty quick on the inner half. Watch this pitch. Redmond tries to go up and in, and Albert turns on it. He's hit plenty of those to know how they feel.
Pujols is on 18th on the all-time home run list. That's home run number 527. He is 7 behind Jimmy Fox. This ball is hit to center field. Pilar will give up on it. It plays off the wall. Calhoun is headed for second, and he'll get there as the Angels have a double and a home run in this inning off of Redmond. The first 2 hits off Todd Redmond. So second time through the order, Pujols homers and Calhoun doubles.
Early on, they're going to swing early and often. Fastball that Pilar thinks he has a beat on, but is hit too hard and got over his head for a double. First time that Calhoun has been hitting in the cleanup spot. He's normally their leadoff hitter.
David Freese flied out to left. He goes after the first pitch. Boy, they're a free swinging bunch, aren't they? You know what? And we always talk about this. See, the greatest phrase in hitting, and when you ask the late Ted Williams, Ted, what's the most important thing in hitting? What's he say?
Get a good pitch to hit. Make sure it's a strike. And if you're up there taking, the best pitch you might see is what?
First one.
It might be the best one.
Todd Redmond working here in the 4th. Cole Calhoun, a 1-out double after the Pujols home run. Russell Martin gave the ump a good look at that one, but it was off the plate. That slider.
Not a bad idea. Sweep that slider and see if he'll go after it. Talked to John Gibbons today, and I asked him how long Todd Redmond will go this afternoon. He said he's going to go until he gets tired. He's not on a pitch count. Again, he's only made 1 start in AAA this season.
I like that phrase.
So do I. It's what they used to do.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what managers used to think. Hitters will let you know when he's tired.
Mm-hmm.
When they start hitting him around, that's the time to take him out of the game.
How many times did you used to see the manager would go out to the mound to talk to the pitcher, and he would go talk to the catcher, and he would ask him, hey, how's his stuff playing here in the 6th inning or whatever inning it was? And it was the catcher who had the best seat in the house to have a feel for what the pitchers are doing.
There's a base hit to left. Calhoun's going to stop at third. Calhoun stops at third as Freese gets a 2-strike base hit. Let's go back and look at the Pujols home run, number 527.
See how his hands stayed above the baseball right there? That's how you hit a high fastball. They're in a great hitting position, and then he gets them going, and he keeps them. He doesn't drop them below the baseball and then go back up. He stays up above the baseball and then drives through the ball. He is a surefire Hall of Famer, easily.
So Mark Krause, who is kind of a late addition, the lineup we were given at the start of this game had Matt Joyce in this position. But Krause hit in this spot first time through the order, and he walked.
Need a ground ball right here. Stop the bleeding.
Ball on the strike to the lefty hitter. Krause was claimed off of waivers from Houston December last year. Way inside. Redmond has been very efficient to this point with his pitches. That was just the 45th pitch he's thrown.
And he has had some very short innings, and that should help him.
Fouls into the glove of Russell Martin.
He throws a changeup like a splitter, meaning he splits his index finger and his middle finger and takes a little something off the fastball, and he at times gets good tumbling action on the ball, so he can get a ground ball right here if he decides to throw it.
Popped out of play. Ball was upstairs. That's not where you want it for a ground ball. John Gibbons has always been a big fan of Todd Redmond's. He likes the way he takes the ball. He likes the fact that he'll pitch in any role you need. And he was top of mind when they brought him up. Daniel Norris pitched yesterday. That was also a possibility. But Redmond's done just exactly what Gibbons had hoped he would do. He's thrown a lot of strikes. And that one's in the dirt, gets away from Martin, and Calhoun's going to come in to score. Just when you say he throws a lot of strikes, he throws a wild pitch, and the Angels score their second run.
It looked like he was trying to go for the ground ball right there and then just yanked it a little bit. There is the splitter. That's exactly what we were talking about. If he throws a good one, he'll get the ground ball, but it stays in that fingertips a little bit too long, and it's a wild pitch.
Well, Russell Martin's going to go out and help Redmond regroup a little bit. After striking out Trout to start the inning, Pujols homered, Calhoun doubled, Freese singled, and now the wild pitch has allowed the second run of the inning to score, and Freese is in scoring position at second. John Gibbons isn't of the mind that he wants Todd Redmond to get 5 innings. He wants a win.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Johnny Holstaff can pitch today. He just wants a W.
Ball went right off Martin's mask.
They have been talking about this move, he said, for a couple of days, and then made the move and the decision last night to bring up Todd Redmond. Push everybody back a day to give them a little bit of a breather, keep them fresh. Ryan Tepera is now up and throwing.
Popped up left side of the field. That's Danny Valencia, the left fielder, who comes in and makes the catch in shallow left field. So Krause is retired. It's the second out of the inning. The Blue Jays are in a tough stretch of their schedule. They are home for this extended road trip or homestand. They'll play the Angels for 4, Seattle for 3, and then the White Sox for 3. They'll have an off day and go out on the road for 5 games, Minnesota and Washington. 6 games, Minnesota and Washington. Chris Iannetta fouls back the first pitch. It's a 4-2 ball game. Redmond has allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. All 3 hits coming in this 4th inning. Put that fastball in a good spot. Redmond is ahead 1-2.
He still has plenty of fastball. He's about 91 or 92 miles an hour with that heater. But that time he put it in a good spot.
That ball is in the alley in right center and going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Freezes around third. He'll come in to score. Iannetta drives in the third run of the inning, and just like that, the Angels are right back in this ball game.
Team that had been struggling to score runs. They give up a 4 spot in the second inning, and then here in the fourth inning, second time through the lineup, they come up with 3. It looked like a slider with 2 strikes, and it just spun, stayed over the middle of the plate, and Iannetta, he's strong, drills that ball into the gap.
For Iannetta, that's just his second double of the season, only his 4th RBI. So Pete Walker out trying to encourage Redmond, see if he can't get out of this inning. Colin Cowgill is the batter with a runner in scoring position, and these are Redmond's numbers as a starter.
Very good. First time through the lineup. All 9 batters, they hit 197, and it's 100 points higher the second and third time through. So this is the second time through for the Angels. And in this inning, home run, double, single, and now another double by Iannetta.
First time through the order this afternoon, and the Angels were 0 for 8 with a walk. Colin Cowgill, the left fielder. Cowgill is a rarity in that he's a right-handed hitter and a left-handed thrower. Of course, the most famous outfielder that was like that, Ricky Henderson, the Hall of Famer.
Normally, if you throw left-handed, as a kid, you're going to hit left-handed because it's easier.
Cleon Jones, a great outfielder for the Mets, was the same way. He threw left-handed and hit right-handed. And when you really think about it, it's kind of an advantage. And I think that's why so many right-handed throwing hitters are good left-handed hitters, because that dominant right hand is their lead hand. Same for Cowgill.
Left-handed thrower, and that lead hand as a hitter. Yeah, you don't see that very often.
Redmond trying to get out of this inning. The Angels have scored 3 runs this inning to make it a 4-3 ball game. Another 1-2 pitch to Colin Cowgill. Way outside. Albert Pujols hit the home run with 1 out. He and Mike Scioscia appear to be talking about hitting there. Talking about where you make contact out over the plate, get that extension. Foul back.
They might be talking about the guy hitting right here. He's hitting that fastball back just a little bit. They're up. Fastballs are up. You can see them in the strike zone. Catch those out in front. That's when you start driving the ball.
The location of those pitches suggests that Redmond might be getting tired a little bit. Early in the game when he was dominant, everything was down, bottom of the zone and lower. This is driven into the outfield. Pilar has room. He's over in the alley. He makes the catch. But the Angels score 3 runs on 4 hits and leave a base runner. Albert Pujols hits his 7th home run of the season. Just the 2nd home run he's hit here at Rogers Center. It's a 4-3 game.
News, scores, stats, and video highlights. Plus, watch the Toronto Blue Jays live from anywhere. It's the new Sportsnet app. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. And we're the only game in town right now. Everything else is a night game. It's a very limited schedule, only 7 games overall in both leagues. The Marlins will play tonight at home against Arizona, and they'll have a new skipper.
New manager.
Yeah. Mike Redmond, the former Blue Jay minor league manager, was let go as the manager of the Marlins, and Dan Jennings, the general manager, will have a uniform on tonight. Run the ball club. Named himself manager. Josh Donaldson drives this in the alley, but nobody's going to get this one. Up against the wall. Donaldson is headed for second. This man loves hitting leadoff. He's 3 for 3 in 4 innings.
We saw that earlier this season when Josh Donaldson was a starter in that leadoff spot. Get a bushel ball hits. This time he's got a single in the first, a single in the second. Now in the fourth, he takes one to right center field. And off of a left-hander. He has owned the lefties this year.
Donaldson this year batting leadoff is 5 for 8. Jose Bautista's 2 for 2.
Here's his best breaking ball of the day right there. Threw it in a tough spot, and he threw it for a strike. I have a feeling, Buck, that this game is going to be decided by the bullpens. Both starters have been struggling this afternoon.
Yeah, you can see Mike Moran is up throwing for the Angels. Ryan Tepera was up early for the Blue Jays. But just in the 4th inning. 7 runs on 13 hits surrendered by the starters. Bautista bounces out to third.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Bautista out for the first time today. He's 2 for 3. Donaldson still in scoring position. Check swing, tap, foul ball. Oh, and 2. Breaking ball getting a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit better that time. It was a strike and then ended up out of the strike zone. On that curveball, that one we just saw right there, I mean, that has been his most effective pitch this season. Batter's only hitting .070 against it. Time he rushed it a little bit.
C.J. Wilson, his start today, making his 8th start. His pitch count should be no problem, no concern whatsoever. Last time out, he threw 111 pitches. High fastball, and Encarnacion strikes out for a second time this afternoon. That's just the 3rd strikeout for C.J. Wilson.
Got Edwin a couple of times, both with the fastball. This is a 2-seamer. Try to get a little movement, but it's up close enough to swing at, and he comes up empty.
Encarnacion 1 for 3 with an RBI. Now it's Russell Martin's turn. The Angels have won 12 of the last 15 meetings between these two ball clubs, and they have played very well in this ballpark. The Angels are 7-1 since July 1st, 2012, right here at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays have to figure out a way to keep these Angel hitters in check.
I know in those games, at least last season when the Angels came here, they got great pitched ball games. Jared Weaver, Tyler Skaggs, they were both outstanding in the games here at Rogers Center last season.
Garrett Richards was good here.
Garrett Richards, yes. Blue Jays missed Garrett Richards in this 4-game series.
And that's not a bad thing. Hector Santiago will start tomorrow night against Aaron Sanchez. Jared Weaver will go on Wednesday against Drew Hutchison, and then Matt Shoemaker against R.A. Dickey. There's a ball driven to center field. Mike Trout backs up a couple of steps. Russell Martin's retired. The Blue Jays leave a base runner. We'll go to the 5th. It's a 4-3 ball game. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Todd Redmond, he is done for the afternoon, but he gave them a pretty good start. 4 innings, 4 hits, and he may just want to start the minor leagues, and this is his first start in the big leagues this season. So overall, Pat, not too bad.
Yeah, first 3 innings, outstanding work. Short pitch counts in those innings. He blew right through the Los Angeles Angels, and then the hiccup in the 4th inning where he gave up the 3 hits and the 4 runs. So Todd's afternoon is over, and he will give way to Ryan Tepera. He too was just called up a week ago. Last pitch 3 days ago in Houston. 2 very good innings. Just gave up 1 hit against the Astros. There are his numbers in 3 games this year. Fastball, slider, cutter. That's what you will get from Tepera.
Tepera has allowed only 1 hit in 5 innings so far. Well, I think he has seen from the bullpen that the Angels are going to swing. And he's very similar to Todd Redmond, throws just a little bit harder. He has the same type of stuff.
But he throws a lot of strikes also, just like Redmond did this afternoon. Lots of strikes, and he'll use his fastball. The cutter's been a good pitch for him this year. It's something that he worked on in spring training that he developed, and it's been a good pitch for him.
There it was right there, and he gets the foul back.
Said he needed something to get in on the left-handed batters, and he just didn't have anything until he found that cutter. A lot like Kendall Graveman. If you remember, Graveman last year really took the next step as a pitcher when he found that cutter.
He went. Umpire said he swung. That's a strikeout for Tepera, first out of the inning. Giovatello strikes out for a second time this afternoon.
That looked like it might have been the curveball right there. A little bit bigger break. Gets on top of that one and spikes it into the ground. That's where you want to throw that 2-strike curveball off the plate. See if you can get that batter to chase, and he does.
Back to the top of the order. And Kaibar, he too cutting at that first pitch. Well, you know what? Don Baylor is the hitting coach of this team, and he's an old school guy. There's no doubt about it. And he says, you know what? Go up there, get yourself a fastball, and let her rip. Baylor was a terrific hitter in his playing days, and he had that aggressive mindset. Baylor grew up in the Orioles organization, came to the big leagues at the time when Frank Robinson and Brooks Robinson and Paul Blair, all those great players, were playing in Baltimore. And, you know, he got to watch Frank Robinson see what he would do. And came up with Eddie Murray and Ken Singleton. A lot of those guys coming through that organization at that time were good hitters.
I am of the mindset a swinging bat is a dangerous bat. Now, if you're up there swinging at pitches over your head or in the dirt, no. That's a little bit different than being aggressive in the count. And I think that shows the pitcher that, hey, I've got to be good from the first pitch of an at-bat till the last, because these guys are up there ready to swing.
Baylor was the MVP of the American League in 1979 for the Angels.
Didn't he get traded for Reggie Jackson from Baltimore to Oakland?
I believe so. There's a base hit for Ibar on 2 strikes, a 1-2 pitch. He went with it. Ibar is aboard for the first time.
A couple of sliders that were swung through for 2 strikes. Now he tries to elevate against Eric Ibar and gets it just out of the reach of Josh Donaldson.
So Mike Trout, he's gone 0 for 2 so far. We mentioned in our open that Mike Trout, coming into this game, had a .230 career average against the Blue Jays. They have pitched him tougher than anybody in the American League. He's got lower averages, but that's all against interleague teams and National League ball clubs. But the Blue Jays have worked him over. This is a foul that's going to land into the seats out of play.
You know what they have done, at least from what I have seen in the at-bats that they've had against Mike Trout, they have really thrown him a lot of fastballs. And they've really tried to keep the ball up or up and in. Mike's a low ball hitter. Just watching the way that he swings the bat, he can crush low balls. So the Blue Jays have tried to elevate that fastball against him.
Trout coming into this game for the season batting .291, 10 homers and 21 RBIs. He is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout.
You know, you could talk for 3 days about the accomplishments in his young career already, and he's been compared to some of the greats already in baseball, and they should. His numbers are off the charts, that what he has done his first 3 years in the big leagues.
I would suppose he and Giancarlo Stanton of the National League are very similar in what they can do on a baseball field. Trout, of course, has the stolen base as an added weapon.
You know, the game of baseball is all about power and speed. If you have power, or if you have one of them, if you have power, you're going to be a superstar. If you have speed, you're going to be a superstar. You're going to be able to do things on a baseball field. Mike Trout is blessed with both power and speed. One of the best players in the game today.
And he's called out. Tepera gets that inside corner. Trout strikes out for a second time this afternoon. Tepera has 2 strikeouts in the 5th.
That's a backup breaking ball right there. First time that the Angels have seen Ryan Tepera. Ball backs up on him just a little bit, but it freezes Mike Trout. right over the inside corner.
That's really interesting. You saw the spin on that ball. It was spinning as if it was going to break, and Mike Trout probably saw that spin and expected it to be outside. If a pitcher could only perfect that pitch. The old backup slider. Hitters see the spin, they say, oh, it's going to break, and then it doesn't.
Oh, they see it. They see it in their sleep. All night, you'll see it.
Pujols asked for time as Tepera was trying to freeze Ibar over at first.
Yeah, don't forget about Ibar over there. He doesn't have a stolen base this season, but he's got a very generous lead over there.
Pujols just strokes it into center. Reaches out and poked it to center, and Ibar's going to take advantage of that slow turf. He goes first to third. The Angels, throughout the tenure of Mike Scioscia, have been one of the best first to third teams in baseball. And they're playing their first game on this slow surface.
I think the best in going from first to third. They all know that this is a slow turf, and with a big power hitter like Pujols at the plate, outfielders have to play a little bit deep. So it's an easy first to third movement right there. Ball's right in front of you. Ibar reads how slow that ball gets to Kevin Pillar, and he makes it without a throw.
So runners at the corners. There are 2 outs. Cole Calhoun doubled into center field back in the fourth. Goes after that first pitch. Boy, everybody is hacking at that first pitch. Calhoun hit his double into right center. Kevin Pillar, now he's the center fielder, and he's challenged with trying to set up his defense. Tepera throws a little bit harder than Todd Redmond, and Calhoun might not be able to pull it as dramatically as he did that first time into that gap in right center. Pickoff was on, and Ibar gets back. Ibar said to Donaldson, I've been in this league too long. You can't pick me off.
Yeah, he's played it against Josh Donaldson a long time, right? When Josh was over in Oakland, faced each other 19 times a year. He can get a big lead with the left-handed hitter up and a pull hitter. Defense, they are playing Calhoun to pull.
This is popped up over near the seats, and Conachon will get over there, but it's about 4 rows back out of play.
Getting the lead, and now he sees the pickoff, and he's like, stop it. Leave me alone.
You've tried that before. It doesn't work. Russell Martin's going to go out to the mound and have a talk with Ryan Tepera. This is Tepera's first inning of work. He's given up 2 hits in the inning and has 2 strikeouts. Trying to protect a 1-run lead. Todd Redmond, the starter, went 4 innings.
Calhoun has come into this game a very hot hitter, and that's why Mike Scioscia has put him in that 4th slot to try and drive in some big runs. Normally their leadoff hitter. Again, they haven't had an RBI from their number 4 hitter coming into this game in their last 13 games.
Ground ball. Collison takes it from the outfield and throws Calhoun up. Tepera will strand a couple of base runners. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. The Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead over the Angels.
Monday, May 24th, it's Blue Jays Country Day, presented by TD. Blue Jays host the Mariners at 1:07 that afternoon, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays trucker hat. Special appearances by Chad Brownlee and Gord Bamford. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. Buck, always a lot of fun on Blue Jays Country Day, and it's too bad we couldn't bring our friend from Houston to the game on Sunday.
You couldn't get him in your suitcase, huh? The big man with the big mustache. He was quite a fan of the Astros down there. We saw him for 4 games down there. Had a big cowboy hat on with a huge handlebar mustache. Danny Valencia, Chris Colabello, and Kevin Pillar here in the 5th against C.J. Wilson. Valencia hits it hard. It's a one-hopper to the shortstop. Eric Ibar throws him out. C.J. Wilson needs an efficient inning. Blue Jays got to him for 4 runs on 6 hits in the 2nd inning. Sent 9 men to the plate.
Just so he can stick around a little bit longer. The first 2 innings, he was really laboring. Took him 62 pitches to get through the first 2 innings.
Chris Colabello has walked. He has drawn the only 2 walks off of C.J. Wilson. And he was hacking at that first pitch. This is playable. Pujols in fair territory makes the catch. 2 quick outs here in the 5th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Open air baseball on this holiday Monday. And Blue Jays and Angels are in a 1-run game. Kevin Pillar shortened up the bunt and takes a ball upstairs.
He was taken all the way. Taken all the way. His first time up, Colabello took a 4-pitch walk, and the first pitch was right down the middle, and he had to take it. Here's one right there. And then the first 2 batters here go quickly in the 5th inning. He's got to take a strike just to make him work a little bit.
Pops this one out of play over the screen. Kevin Pillar's in a little bit of a funk. He had just 5 hits in 7 games on the road trip. He was 5 for 27, a 185 average. But he's got the right attitude. He said, now I know I'm going to play every day, so you just take those over 4s and move on.
Yeah, and play good defense like he has. Help the ball club win a game out on the field.
There's a base hit. He fights off that inside pitch and gets on with 2 outs. That's the 10th hit for the Blue Jays against C.J. Wilson.
And they've got a lot of 2-strike base hits also. Here's another one. Pulls his hands in and he's able to barrel up that pitch on the inner half. Watch how he gets him close to his body. And he's able to push that ball into the outfield.
Boy, that was a good illustration of what you talk about, putting your hands in. And he was able to keep his hands close to his body, and the barrel got to that baseball, and he was able to come up with a 2-strike base hit.
Stay inside the ball. You hear hitting coaches talk about that all the time now. It simply means keep your hands between your body and the baseball, and the barrel will follow. And that was a great illustration of it, that base hit.
Steve Townsend takes strike 1. Pillar is 6 for 6 in steal attempts this year. Annette has only thrown out 3 base runners. 3 for 20. And that's how you neutralize the running game.
Throw strikes, get outs. Not a bad time to go. Either this pitch or next pitch. We'll watch Mike Socha. You see him go through all the signs right there. You might see a pitch out or another fastball off the plate just in case they go.
First move, Pillar was going, and the throw is in time at second. Pillar said he never tagged me. Giovitella took the throw and lost his balance. And Pillar is talking with Paul Schreiber, and John Gibbons wants to hear what the video room has to say about that call at second. Pilar was adamant, thinking that the second baseman didn't tag him. Giovatello loses his balance, and he appears to be safe. So they are going to look at the review. They're going to challenge the call at second. Pilar was adamant. As soon as he popped up, standing up, he signaled to the bench, hey, I was safe.
Giovatello caught the ball on his heels. He was falling backwards. It was a short hop from Pujols, and his momentum was taking him away from the runner. So when he caught the ball, he was falling backwards. It appeared that he tagged Kevin Pilar up high before that foot got in there.
They just showed it on the scoreboard. They see this replay. Giovatello's losing his balance, and Pilar slides in, and then the tag is up on his knee. He appears to be coming up because he braced himself against the base. There, he's got contact. Boy, it was close.
He popped up, and you can see he's off the bag, but he's back on the bag, and right away he told the second base umpire, Paul Schreiber, that he thought he was safe. Basically signaling to his manager to challenge this one. Take a look at it before we end the inning.
Boy, that's going to be a tough one to overturn. The call on the field is that he is out, and the contact with the base and the glove on the knee almost simultaneous. I'm going to say they're going to let this call stand.
They need concrete evidence, and it looks from that replay that he could be safe, but they have to have definitive evidence that that foot was in there before the tag was made.
They will look at every angle and slow it down to see just exactly when the contact of the glove occurred, whether or not Pilar had his foot on the bag first. That's the question. Jim Reynolds is the crew chief. Now they have a decision, and they uphold it. It was so close, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call on the field, and Pilar is caught for the first time. Brought to you by Natura, and they do a great job in between innings. A home hardware exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. And the grounds crew doing a terrific job as they sorted out the infield. They're ready to go now, and we will go to the top of the sixth.
Fastest ground crew in baseball. They get in and out, don't they?
We didn't even see them that time. They were so fast. There's a drive to right. Chris Colabello is back. This ball is over his head and gone. David Freese, an opposite field home run, and that has tied up the game. Freese his second hit of the afternoon.
He has been swinging hotter bats than he did. He got off to a terrible start this year. He now has 7 home runs and 21 driven in. Starting to supply a little power in the middle of the lineup for the Los Angeles Angels. First pitch fastball, stays behind this one and knocks it into the bullpen to tie it up.
It's really interesting. That's his 7th home run. As you mentioned, he hit his 6th home run on Friday in Baltimore. And that gives him the second highest total before the All-Star break of his career. He had 13 home runs before the break in 2012. So that's some welcome power for the Angels. They had missed, of course, the Josh Hamilton bat, Howie Kendrick. And as we all know, Hamilton has been traded to the Texas Rangers.
And I saw that he might be able to play this week.
Sounds like he's going to be ready to play. 1-2 to Mark Krause. It's a 4-4 game. Roberto Osuna, he has been the most reliable reliever for the Blue Jays without question. He has really done a great job. This is his first season in the big leagues. And the one guy John Gibbons can really count on. He has been consistent and predictable.
Yeah, very, very good for the Blue Jays. And he's not just a 1-inning guy. They can use him multiple innings. Ideally, there you go. There's a good pitch. Now you're at the bottom of the lineup for the Los Angeles Angels. You'd like to save Osuna when it comes back around, when they face the big boys. Trout, Pujols, Calhoun. This is a backup slider one more time. And it catches the outside corner. Tepera's 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Chris Iannetta. He drove in the 3rd Angel run in that 3-run 4th inning. This has been a recent theme for the Blue Jays. They have not been able to protect leads. They had a 2-0 lead on Thursday. Saw that evaporate. A 3-0 lead on Saturday. That too went down the drain. And they had a 4-0 lead here today. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Iannetta headed around first. He'll go to second base with his 2nd double of the afternoon. Iannetta came into this game with 1 double for the season. He has had 2 doubles here this afternoon.
Hit one into the gap in right center field and now gets a pitch up and in. And he pulls it down the left field line. And with that double, that's going to bring John Gibbons out to the mound. And he has not signaled yet. And here comes Osuna.
So Gibbons will take the ball from Ryan Tepera. Tepera gives up a home run to David Freese, a double to Iannetta, and here comes the 20-year-old Roberto Osuna. He'll face Colin Cowgill when we come back. and then 1 out.
How about those numbers for a 20-year-old in his first big league season? 0.93 earned run average in 15 games, and we told you he can pitch more than 1 inning. Over his last 6 games, covering 8 innings, he hasn't allowed a run. Strikes out guys, and he commands the fastball.
He has allowed just 2 of 10 inherited base runners to score. So if John Gibbons is confident to bring him in situations like this. The left fielder is Colin Cowgill. He has popped out and flied out. It's a 4-4 game. David Freese with an opposite field solo home run to start this inning. That came off Ryan Tepera. As soon as both pitches have been upstairs, he didn't like that baseball.
Nah, not at all. Both of them. That's uncharacteristic of Osuna.
He is very aware. And for a 20-year-old that has never pitched above A ball, it's impressive. I mean, right there, he threw that pitch, knew immediately he wanted new baseball. No hesitation.
Maybe it just didn't feel right in his hand or something. There's the changeup. I asked him about that changeup when we were down in Houston. I asked him how he holds it. He said it was a 4-seam type of changeup, almost like a fastball. He grips it back in his last 3 fingers and then lets it go, throws it like a fastball. A lot of times you'll see pitchers use a 2-seam grip type of changeup. He says, I don't like the 2-seam. I've worked with it. I've tried different types of grips. He says, I really feel comfortable with the 4-seam grip.
Well, it really makes a lot of sense if you're going to throw a lot of 4-seam fastballs because the spin is exactly the same. And we talk about hitters picking up the spin, so they see the 4-seam changeup, think it's a fastball.
And it's a good one. I mean, he throws it with great conviction and great arm action.
There's a good pitch. He finally got the fastball down where he wanted it. Big strikeout for Osuna. He had been up in the zone, and he gets on top of this 4-seamer and buries it.
Create backspin, keep your fingers on top of the ball. You can see with that downward movement, that's pitching downhill right there. He puts it in a good spot. Downhill, tough for the batter to pull the trigger.
Number 9 hitter, second baseman Johnny Giovatella. He struck out twice so far.
Giovatella has come up with a lot of big hits for him here early in the season. They call him Johnny Magic, that he's been coming up with base hits late in ball games to help them win games.
There's another stroke from Johnny Magic. He jumps it into center field, and Pilar won't have a throw. He comes up with another big hit. A 2-out single gives the Angels the lead as he drives home Chris Iannetta. That's his 15th ribby.
Yeah, and they're big hits, and they're late. Close and late situations this year. He's hitting .478 before that at bat. Right there off the end of the bat. It's just enough into the outfield. And coming home is Iannetta with the tie-breaking run.
Giovatella is 27 years old. He was acquired from the Kansas City Royals, and there's Ibar showing bunt. Takes the ball. So Osuna allows the inherited base runner to score. That's the 3rd inherited base runner in 11 that have come in to score. And how about C.J. Wilson gutting it out through a tough 2nd inning? He has put up 3 zeros after that, and now he's the pitcher of record with the lead.
Never would have thought that after the 2nd inning. He was really struggling. 62 pitches through the first 2 innings, but he has hung around here, and now his offense has given him a chance to win this game.
C.J. Wilson had pitched well on the road this season, and this was the exception, but now he's got a chance for the win. Bouncing ball. Goins will have to go to first. Ibar is out by a half a step. But the Angels, with 2 runs in the top of the 6th, have taken the lead. It's 5-4. Ryan Goins will bat second. Tollefson will lead things off, and then back to the top of the order. Tollefson, Goins, and Donaldson.
Fans, a lot of big groups here at Rogers Center today, and if you have a group of 20 or more, there is no problem. Blue Jays group tickets are for you. Save money, create lasting memories with your coworkers, teammates, family, and friends. Book your groups today at bluejays.com/groups. Buck?
Barry, that's great advice. It is a good outing for a big, large group. Come on out to the ballpark and enjoy a great afternoon or an evening here at Rogers Center. And a lot of groups have made their way down here. There'll be fireworks downtown here tonight later on for Victoria Day. The Angels had some mini fireworks in the 4th and the 6th. They have a 5-4 lead. Mike Morin into the ball game in relief of C.J. Wilson.
Mike Morin had a streak snap to 4 straight scoreless outings yesterday in Baltimore. The right-hander, fastball, low 90s, slider, and an outstanding changeup.
Tollefson drops a bunt down to third. David Freese makes a nice play of it. Freese hits a home run to tie the game and then makes a nice defensive play to record the first out of the 6th.
He's a good defender at third base. He was playing in and he was anticipating something like this from Steve Tollefson. He's going to drop down a bunt. Comes in bare hands and in one motion over to Pujols for the first out. You can see him already breaking as soon as he sees that bat moving by Tollefson. So his momentum comes through the baseball and makes the out.
Freese is now 32 years old. He was acquired by the Angels in exchange for Peter Borges, the great defensive outfielder of the Angels. Randall Grinchick also went to St. Louis in that trade. Ryan Goins is 1 for 2. He had an RBI in the second inning. Blue Jays, they scored 4 runs in the second. They haven't been able to add on.
They have had their chances. They had the leadoff batter on again in the 3rd inning with a leadoff walk and could not bring him around. Leadoff double by Donaldson in the 4th inning. And he was left standing out there.
Chris Arnett had just called for the trainer. And he's going to go out the mound. He saw something he didn't like from Morin. Rick Smith, the assistant trainer, is headed to the mound. Mike Scioscia will send the training staff out to check with Morin. Arnett is the one that gave the heads up to the bench. He looked in there. He saw something he didn't like. And now they're checking with Morin. And Scioscia, it looked like Scioscia said, "Are you sure?" And it appeared to Morin said, "Absolutely."
It's a bullpen that's been outstanding lately for the Los Angeles Angels. Let's take a look at it one more time. This is the bunt play. I think maybe he twisted an ankle or something like that going down on that play.
It didn't appear to have any reaction. Maybe I didn't see anything there that suggests anything was wrong. 2-1 to Goins. Broken bat, looper into right. That's going to drop for a base hit. C.J. Wilson is the pitcher of record with a 5-4 Angel lead. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits in the second, but sorted things out after that.
Yeah, he still gave up 10 hits and 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. His last few outings, he had gone 8 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings. So they were able to get 5 innings out of him, and he threw up zeros after that second inning. Gave up the 4 runs in the second and then 3 zeros. And now it's up to the bullpen.
Josh Donaldson is perfect on the afternoon. He is 3 for 3. This year, hitting in the leadoff spot, he is 5 for 6. Oh, he got a hanger.
You see the reaction from Donaldson. He saw out of his hand, all the way out of his hand, that slider. And his eyes light up. And he missed it.
He sounded like Maria Sharapova hitting a forehand. Took a big grunt at this hanging breaking ball and fouled it straight back to the screen.
Boy, he has fun playing baseball.
I don't know what that was all about. Manny Gonzalez had a little conversation. Right off the end of the bat.
Might have been the swing that he took on that first pitch. We thought that might have been a little bit too aggressive, I guess. I don't know. We saw Mike Butcher up on the first step yelling at Josh.
Well, these Angels know all about Josh Donaldson. They played in the same division. Donaldson spent his major league time in Oakland, playing a lot against the Angels, and they were rivals, of course, fighting for that division title. Donaldson strikes out and loses the grip on his bat. Skips right over the roof of the dugout into the seats.
Got to be wary of Mike Moran's slider and his very good changeup. And when he throws a fastball, it can take you by surprise. Low 90s fastball, upper part of the strike zone, and he loses the bat as he strikes out. And I love how Donaldson then went to Bautista on the on-deck circle on his way back to tell him what Moran features.
This has been an interesting inning. For some reason, Manny Gonzalez went out to the pitcher after the strikeout. Donaldson stopped to give information to Bautista. Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, went all the way out to the mound and had something to say to Moran.
You know, it looked like he stepped between Iannetta and Donaldson during the at-bat. And then you're right, after the strikeout, he goes out and has something to say to Moran.
And now Donaldson looking over into the Angel dugout.
Let's knock it off. Knock it off.
Now, this is Gonzalez telling Mike Butcher to knock it off. Butcher and Donaldson were going back and forth from across the diamond, and Mike Scioscia's out say, wait a minute. They're going to say that, and we're going to respond to it. But evidently that's why Gonzalez stepped in front of Donaldson after the second strike.
Yeah. Mike Butcher, that's the pitching coach right there. He's been having something to say to Josh during that whole at bat. And now Mike Sosa has something to say to Manny Gonzalez.
Well, Manny Gonzalez, obviously, he was privy to what was going on in the plate. He could hear everything. And he kind of stepped in front of Donaldson and said, okay, let's just play some baseball here. And then he went out to the mound to tell Mike Moore, don't do anything silly now. Let's just play baseball. Bautista.
That's the second pitch right there. Somebody must be saying something to Donaldson.
Yeah, and that's why Gonzalez got in front. It wasn't so much the umpire, it was what Donaldson heard from the bench. 3-0 to Bautista. Outside. So the Blue Jays, they need somebody to rattle their cage. Josh Donaldson has been talking about we need to do something to win some games. This is getting old.
And they need a hit. They need someone to come up with a big hit right here. That'll fire them up.
Well, they got the right guy at the plate now.
He has hit his share of big home runs for the Blue Jays.
Edwin had 4 home runs on the 7-game road trip. He hit .350 in the previous homestand. Vinny Pistano is up for a second time. Mike Morin started the inning. Goins is at second, Bautista at first. Not close.
Well, he's being real careful. First to Bautista, walked him on 4 pitches. Now he's behind to Edwin. And this might have something to do with that previous conversation with Mike Sosa went out there.
Well, now Mike Butcher's the pitching coach, and he's out to try to help his young pitcher regroup a little bit and see if he can't get him through this tough situation. Butcher's in his 9th season as the pitching coach. He replaced Buddy Black when Black became the manager of the Padres. But obviously a big point in the ball game. The Angels have a 5-4 lead.
Got to answer him right here. The Angels scored 2 in the top of the inning. Blue Jays trying to counter that and get something in here in the bottom of the inning.
The Blue Jays have had plenty of opportunities today. They are 4 for 14 with runners in scoring position. They've stranded 6. Three and 0. You let him swing.
Oh, I'm letting him swing. As hard as Edwin swings right here, I'm letting him swing. Get me 3 runs with 1 swing of the bat.
Bautista had an RBI double in the second on a 3-0 pitch. That'll load the bases. That might be it for Morin. And here comes Sosa. So Mike Sosa finally gets some offense. The Angels have 5 runs. They haven't had 5 runs in a while, and now the bullpen has put him in a tough spot. Josh Donaldson's had a good day at the plate. Morin out of the game. Vinny Pistano, the right-hander, will come in to face Russell Martin with the bases loaded. now. Then Bautista and Encarnacion walk with 2 outs. The bases are loaded for Russell Martin, who has 4 career grand slams. And the new pitcher into the game is Vinny Pistano.
There are Pistano's numbers in 11 games, 1-0 with a .431 earned run average. Sinker slider type of player. Pitcher. He was very good when he was with the Cleveland Indians and then just lost it. And he was picked up by the Angels. He's now in their bullpen. Still throws pretty hard. Just 8 innings this season. And tough on right-handers. Look at the splits between the righties and the lefties.
And Russell Martin, a right-handed hitter. 2 outs, bases loaded. Blue Jays down by a run. Hacking at that first pitch and fouled it off the mask of Iannetta.
Why not? Go up there. The first good one you see, let it go. Martin has been very good with runners in scoring position this year. He's come up with a lot of big base hits for the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays need a big base hit. They need something to turn around the momentum. Ball and a strike. Preston Smoke has come out on deck. He'll bat for Danny Valencia if Martin can keep the inning going. Good cut on the high fastball. The Angels have 2 lefties down in their pen. It's Cesar Ramos, the former Ray. He's loosening up now. Martin shortened up with 2 strikes and spoiled a decent pitch.
That's been a good approach for him, hasn't it, this month of May?
Sure it has. He said he always uses that 2-strike approach if he's scuffling a bit at the plate, and it served him well.
Choke up on the bat just a little bit. Not as high of a leg kick. Let the ball travel a little bit further and take advantage of that gap in right center field.
Well, the Blue Jays base runners getting good secondary leads. Bautista at second and Encarnacion bouncing off at first. Goins is at third. 2-2. You expect something to happen on this pitch.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to 3-2 and let those runners get a lead. He wants to get them right here, and Russell knows it.
Outside. Laid off that sweeping, hard breaking ball. Goins at third. He's single. Bautista, he's been on base 3 times. Encarnacion walked. Martin.
Boy, he is having good swings against Pistano. That was a breaking ball. 3-2. And he stayed back, recognized it, and fouled it off.
Young fans trying to do their part. Get the rally caps out early. Everybody in that Blue Jays clubhouse mindful that they just need something to turn their fortunes around. Little looper, that's going to drop. 1 run's in. Here comes Bautista. He's going to score. Russell Martin delivers with 2 outs.
There it is, right there. He's having good swings against Pistano. He was staying back. He was seeing the baseball. You don't have to hit the ball hard sometimes just to come up with a base hit. Get plate coverage, and that's what Russell does. He dumps this ball in front of Mike Trout for 2 RBIs, and the Blue Jays retake the lead. fired up, didn't he?
Boy, you know he did. And we had talked about Donaldson and his pedigree along with Russell Martin. And it was Donaldson's at bat that brought everything to a head in this inning. He struck out, but there was bantering going back and forth between the two dugouts, and that kind of brought everything to a head. And the Blue Jays have taken advantage of that energy.
And a clutch 2-out hit. And now with the lead, John Gibbons, remember we saw Justin Smoke on the on-deck circle. He's been called back. He's not been announced into the game, but Danny Valencia is going to take his normal turn.
Valencia hacks at that first pitch. Yeah, John Gibbons, he can keep Smoke in reserve right now. He's got the lead. There goes Russell. Trying to get himself into scoring position. Valencia fouls it out of play. Big opportunity for the Blue Jays to add another run.
That's real interesting right there that he takes off. Almost like they were going to try and steal a run.
He goes again. Valencia tries it in the alley. This is going to get down. Encarnacion's in to score. Martin's around third. He's going to score. Danny Valencia with a 2-run double to the gap in right center. For Valencia, that's just his 4th hit against right-handed pitching all year, but it's a big one.
How about that? We had that shot of Valencia say, me, I'm still in the ball game, because he was taken out and Smoke went up to hit, but then when Martin got the hit, he stays into the game and gets another 2-strike hit by the Blue Jays this afternoon. He just reaches out for that ball and drives it into the gap in the right center field, and 2 more big run score for the Blue Jays.
The second 4-run inning of the afternoon. Valencia stirring it up. Josh Donaldson stirred it all up with a strikeout.
Yep. Tough to do, isn't it? Had everybody fired up, and then they couldn't find the strike zone.
Some guys just have that.
Yeah.
It's the it factor. Josh Donaldson came here with winning on his mind. There are a lot of ways to impact your team. Chris Colabello. Colabello has been productive. He's 5 for 7 coming into this game with runners in scoring position. And he'll spread the defense thin.
Straight away. A couple of walks this afternoon. You can see Donaldson still getting the boys fired up.
This is a high fly ball down the right side. Long run for Calhoun. He's not going to get there. Cole Calhoun upset. He couldn't make a play as Colabello has another shot.
Yeah, he's a good outfielder, but he just cannot come up with that one. He had a long way to go. He was playing him in the gap, taking away the gaps against Colabello, so he had a long way to go. He just can't squeeze it. These types of innings right here, those little things like that, you want to make those plays so you can get out of the inning.
Way outside. Kevin Pillar waiting on deck. Ball 4 to Colabello. He's walked 3 times this afternoon. The Angels came into this game, into this series, with the best ERA in the American League. They have given up 8 runs on 13 hits. And for the second time this afternoon, the Blue Jays will send 9 men to the plate.
And the Angels bullpen had allowed only 1 earned run over the last 18 1/3 innings. They've been outstanding. That was covering 7 games. Well, Morin came in and he got torched up a little bit this inning, and now Pastano hasn't gotten anybody out.
Pilar's the 9th J to bat. Three walks this inning. 5 in the game for the Blue Jays. Oh, and 2. Pilar foul tips into the glove. That's the strikeout. 9 men go to the plate. The Blue Jays scored 4 runs on 3 hits and 3 walks. Russell Martin with the bases loaded delivers the go-ahead base hit. He battles with 2 strikes and flares it into center to drive home 2. The Blue Jays a 4-run inning, and Donaldson likes it.
The TD Comfort Zone today. Sitting there are guests of TD. Meanwhile, over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are the Aaron Oak Kids Eagles. And Buck, I imagine the Eagles are learning one thing today. They're learning how the Blue Jays offense stirs it up.
Well, they certainly do, Barry, and they've stirred it up twice this afternoon. A 4-run second and a 4-run sixth. They have an 8-5 lead. Roberto Osuna, the pitcher of record. This is Mike Trout. He's gone 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. There's a fly ball into shallow right. This is a long run for Colabello. He's going to get there and makes the catch. Boy, he had a long way to go. He had to play deep to respect the power of Mike Trout. Trout popped it up, and Colabello ran it down in foul ground.
And this is an important inning, shutdown inning. After your team takes the lead, you got to get the first batter. You can see Colabello, he comes a long way, and it's to his glove side to make the catch. You've got Trout, Pujols, Calhoun, their best hitters coming up this inning.
Yeah, and this is where you've got to put up a 0. Don't allow the middle of the order to develop any momentum at all. Pujols is 2 for 3 with a homer and a single. He goes after the first pitch, hits it into shallow center. Pilar comes in. Osuna with 2 quick outs here in the 7th. We mentioned Osuna is the most reliable out of their bullpen. He has been consistent and he's done a terrific job. He's in line now for his first big league win.
And if he has these types of short innings, he's only thrown 13 pitches. They keep swinging at that first pitch. You might be able to sneak another inning out of him.
Mike Trout talking with Matt Joyce. You ever seen this guy before? No. He throws hard. Cole Calhoun batting cleanup this afternoon. This is the 6th time they have used Calhoun in the cleanup spot. Remember, the Angels don't have Josh Hamilton, who was injured, and they traded him to Texas. They also don't have Howie Kendrick, who was a big-time bat in their lineup.
Yeah, he came up, you know, he might not have had all the best stats and everything like that, but he came up with some big hits over his career with the Los Angeles Angels. Josh Hamilton was supposed to be the guy to hit behind Pujols, but that just did not work out for him.
Calhoun went around 96. Osuna still hasn't been as good as we've seen him this year. Everything has been up a little bit. The best pitch he has thrown in this game was strike 3 to Colin Cowgill. He got that fastball down and away.
But he's got enough mustard on that fastball, doesn't he? That one's just 94 miles an hour. He's got a smooth delivery, and all of a sudden that ball is on top of you. Everything has been up and away.
Comes right back and strikes out Calhoun. 3 up, 3 down. 8 pitches is all Osuna needed in the 7th. The Blue Jays needed to put up a 0. Osuna obliges, striking out Calhoun.
MLB.TV Premium, on demand and in true HD, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. You also get a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more. A look at the app today, Buck. This is the only game going on right now. Everything else under the lights tonight.
Absolutely, Barry. And right now, everything is going the Blue Jays' way. They have an 8-5 lead over the Angels. New pitcher into the ballgame is Cesar Ramos, his 15th appearance.
Not overpowering. You can see he's just worked 9 2/3 innings. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. He'll cut his fastball a little bit here and there. Situational lefty. He is brought in now. He needs some zeros.
And Tollison's jumping on the first pitch. He rifles it into the alley. His second hit of the day.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual-clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Leadoff man's aboard. Ryan Goins, the number 9 hitter. Goins has a couple hits today, but right now you would expect him to bunt against the lefty Ramos.
I'm figuring sacrifice bunt right here. Try and bunt it to the right side of the infield. Make the first baseman field the ball.
He squares to bunt. Freeze will come down from third, but he's got to go to first. Good job by Goins. He delivers the sacrifice bunt. Puts another runner in scoring position.
The offense has been relentless this afternoon, hasn't it? They have really put up some good at-bats. They've only scored in 2 innings, but they've been threatening in every inning but the 5th.
The Blue Jays have had 17 at-bats this afternoon with runners in scoring position, and they've got 6 hits. They could be much worse for the Angels. Blue Jays have stranded 8. Josh Donaldson, he got it all stirred up his last time up. That was in the 6th. He took a healthy cut at the first pitch of the at-bat and then heard some barking from the Angels dugout, and then they got into it. Donaldson leading off this afternoon. No Devin Travis, and John Gibbons decided just to move everybody up 1 spot.
No Jose Reyes either, who took some batting practice today, took some ground balls, and he will probably go on a rehab tomorrow.
There goes Donaldson. He got a huge jump, and he's going to steal third. Well, Donaldson's having a good afternoon. Got a couple of hits. He doubled. Now he has a stolen base, and he's just 90 feet away from scoring.
Smart. He picks on the perfect pitch, a slow curveball from Ramos, who doesn't even look at him at second base. See that? He never turned back to look at him, so he got a running lead, picked on a good pitch, and gets himself up 90 feet.
The infield's got to come in now with Donaldson at the plate. Boy, he was focused on that right center alley just to stay on the pitch.
That's where the RBIs are right now. The middle infield, this is interesting. They're a little bit closer than normal, I think, because of the slowness of this turf. Usually with a hitter like Donaldson, they'll play about halfway and then move up, but they're really in. Corners are a little bit further back.
Boy, that was an emergency swing, but he was geared up on something out over the plate. He fouled off that inside pitch. The Blue Jays have improved their lot dramatically against lefty pitching, and Donaldson's had a lot to do with that. Comes into this game with a .440 average against lefties.
Yeah, he and Danny Valencia and Russell Martin's had a good afternoon.
Blue Jays batting .314 against lefties. That's a big run out there at third base, and Donaldson knows it.
Looks like they're trying to steal a run right here. Looked like Donaldson was going on contact. Going to try and force that defense to field the ball cleanly if there's a ground ball, and make a good throw home.
Inside, full count. Bautista is next. The top 4 in this batting order have 8 hits this afternoon. They have 8 of the 14 hits. They've kept the pressure on the Angels. Inside, Donaldson knew it. He'll walk back as Ramos made a good pitch, catching that inside corner.
First time that Donaldson has seen Ramos in his career. And he tricked him. Looked like a cutter that caught the inside part of the plate. It's a big out for the Angels. Just locks him up. He's thinking that that ball's going to go inside, and it stays there.
Jose Bautista. Looked like it might have been off the plate inside. Bautista looking for something inside. Pulls it into the seats. He expected them to come inside. Aaron Loop is standing by. He appears to be ready. Looking ahead to the Angels, it's Freese, Krause, and Iannetta. Righty, lefty, righty. Too far inside. Bautista knows all about Ramos. He was with the Rays the last 2.5 seasons. Actually spent parts of 4 seasons with Tampa Bay prior to pitching in San Diego. Top of this order has really kept the pressure on. As I mentioned, they have been on base 11 times in 17 plate appearances today.
I think the whole offense has been good. They have kept the pressure on the Angels all afternoon. They have been relentless every inning.
Full count to Bautista, and kind of shown will be next. Look at the shortstop Ibar. He is really in the hole, and the second baseman Giovitella is still on the first base side of second. There's a big gap right up the middle.
Right through the middle. It looks like they keep trying to throw that cutter inside to Jose.
Forget about this one. Way back and gone. Into the third deck for Bautista. Home run number 7. Big insurance runs.
Well, Jose got up on top of that plate and was almost daring Ramos to challenge him with something on the inner half. This is his first hit against Ramos in his career. He knows all about him from his Tampa Bay days when Ramos was there. But right on top of the plate saying, you can't throw the ball by me. And he didn't.
Bautista's 21st and 22nd RBIs.
Look where Jose is, right on top of the plate. And that cutter comes right over the middle.
Iannetta and Ramos knew immediately that one wasn't staying in the yard. 10-5 Blue Jays. Great extension, and he knew it immediately. He barreled it up. Home run number 7.
Right, got out of here in a hurry. And he knows that he's hit plenty in his career. That ball is not going to hook foul. Third deck. Number 7 on the season.
Bautista and Encarnacion went back-to-back on Thursday night in Houston. Chopped foul off home plate. There's a base hit to center. Another two-strike base hit for the Blue Jays.
There has been a few of those this afternoon. They have just not been able to finish off the Blue Jay hitters. Good two-strike approach. That's Edwin's second hit of the afternoon. He's now 2 for 4. And when I say relentless, every at bat, they have grinded out at bats this afternoon. 16 hits now and 10 runs.
They came into this game 0 for their last 17 with runners in scoring position. Today they are 7 for 19. Russell Martin, biggest hit of the afternoon, came in the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes. He got a base hit to center. Drove in Chu to give the Blue Jays the lead. That's a fair ball. Down the left field line. Encarnacion is around to second. He's headed to third. Russell Martin will jog into second with his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
Right down the line. That's 5 times now today that they have hit a double. David Freese has not been able to come up with those balls. They're hit just too hard and placed right over the bag. And the Blue Jays once again in business.
Jose Alvarez, second left-hander, starting to loosen up for the Angels. The Blue Jays now have 17 hits. That ties their season high. They also had 17 hits April 28th at Boston against the Red Sox. Danny Valencia gets another left-hander. Valencia had a big hit in the 6th against the right-hander Vinny Pistano. He had a double into the alley in right center to drive home 2. Capped off that 4-run 6th inning.
6 extra base hits also for the Blue Jays. They have not been able to retire the Blue Jays in order one time this afternoon. Pitching staff that came in here with great numbers.
It was a very quiet plane ride back from Houston last night, and there has been a lot of talk after the last 2 losses about the Blue Jays need to dig down deep, about the players need to step up. Pitchers, hitters, everybody involved, and they have done that today.
Yeah. It's a show me league. What have you done for me lately kind of thing. Results. Give me some positive results, and the Blue Jays have given them positive results this afternoon.
Danny Valencia hanging tough. 10 runs on 17 hits. Just the only home run was the Bautista homer here in the 7th. Way upstairs, 2-2. Blue Jays came into this ballgame averaging 5.1 runs a game, first in the American League.
Yeah, even after the great pitching that they ran into down in Houston and that rough road trip at 1-6, still number one in the American League in average runs per game and runs scored. It's great offense.
The last time the Blue Jays had 18 hits in a game was right here at Rogers Center, May 14, 2013, against the San Francisco Giants. That's a lot of hits.
That's a lot of hits. They're one off of that now. And they've left 8 runners on base. Left 8.
Chris Colabello is hitless, but he's walked 3 times. He's 0 for 1 officially. Encarnacion, he's at third. He's been on base 3 times, a couple hits in a walk. Russell Martin's had a 3-hit day. Bouncing ball, Freeze takes a tricky hop and throws in the dirt. Pujols did a nice job to end the inning. That'll do it, but the Blue Jays get 2 more in their half of the 7th, and Jose Bautista. He's the heart of this offense. He needs to get going, and he does it with his big 2-run homer, his 7th of the season. The Blue Jays lead by 5. Acura luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Blue Jays have 6 extra base hits this afternoon. Here's one of them. This drive to left field off the bat of Jose Bautista, number 7 on the season. A laser into the 3rd deck here. Capping off that last inning, our drive of the game, brought to you by Jose Bautista.
A no-doubter into the 2nd deck in left field, his 7th home run. For Bautista, the 2 RBIs, actually has a 3 RBI day. He's got 23 ribbies now. Had an RBI double in the 2nd, a 2-run home run in the 7th. New pitcher is Aaron Loup.
Loup pitched the other night in Houston. And in that game, he gave up a few runs and then was unavailable the next day with some back problems.
He pitched in the opener in that Astros series and faced 4 batters and didn't retire a batter. And the Blue Jays had a 4-2 lead at the time. He started the 7th and didn't get it out.
Aaron ended up with the loss, making his record 1-2, was unavailable the next day, and then said he got a back readjustment, and then the pain and the pressure went away in his back just like that. He's fine.
David Freese. He homered in his last at bat, leading off the 6th against Ryan Cepera. Roberto Osuna is in line for his first big league win. He pitched an inning and 2/3, allowed just one hit, didn't walk a batter, and struck out a chief. He's been terrific.
Yeah, he retired 5 of the 6 batters that he faced to get that inning and 2/3. So I hope he gets the baseball if the Blue Jays end up winning this one.
Freese grounds to the third baseman Donaldson, and he throws him out. Donaldson shaved his face, clean shaven today, and he's had a big day. Blue Jays have a 10-5 lead. Donaldson leading off has 3 hits. Blue Jays, they've had an explosive attack. There's no question about it. This is C.J. Cron, who's batting for Mark Krause in the DH spot.
He's got some power. Just 1 home run in 27 games this year. But he got a lot of power in that swing.
C.J. Cron hit his first big league home run right here at Rogers Center. Came last season. He had 11 home runs last year, and you can see he's got power. He's got a powerful swing. His swing is a lot like Chris Colabello's, but he's got more power.
A little inconsistent playing time this year, and that's why the batting average is at just 213. At just 89 at bats, 4 doubles and a home run.
Two and 2. We're in the 8th. The Blue Jays jumped out to a 4-0 lead. They scored 4 runs in the 2nd, 4 runs in the 6th. It's the 14th time in 2015 the Blue Jays have scored 4 or more runs in an inning.
How many times?
14.
14. Woo. I guess that's how you end up leading the league in hitting. Run score.
Chris Iannetta is on deck. So a fly ball to right. Chris Colabello waits on it, makes the catch. 2 down. Well, the Blue Jays have pushed their rotation back. Todd Redmond made the start, so that'll give Aaron Sanchez an extra day's rest tomorrow. He'll go up against Hector Santiago. It all starts tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. That's the pregame show. That's 3:30 Pacific. We'll follow about 30 minutes later with the game. Sanchez will take the mound, and there was a possibility Sanchez could have been an Angel. They had a lot of interest in him when he was drafted.
They waited too long.
They waited too long. They took 3 guys ahead of him. They had 3 picks ahead of Aaron Sanchez, who was 34th that season in the draft. Chris Iannetta has a pair of doubles today, has an RBI and a run scored. Jose Reyes is getting close to a rehab assignment. We've seen him work out the last several days, and he looks very good. Got a lot of energy in his body. The crack rib is healing, and he feels like he's getting close to going out and playing. The Blue Jays, there is the thought maybe they could activate him, but you can't take that risk. If he plays a game and then re-aggravates that injury, then you have to wait 15 more days.
Yes, you got to go out and you got to see what he can do in game situations. So he'll go out on a rehab. I suspect this week coming up. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day.
I think they want him to take another day of ground balls and take another round of BP here with the ball club so everybody can see how he's doing. And then send him out and let him get a few games under his belt, but it won't take long. You just have to be sure that he is healthy enough to get 4 or 5 at-bats a game. do that 2 or 3 days in a row, and I think he'll be right back.
Big difference from taking grounders and hitting BP and then playing in a game against live pitching.
There's a drive to the alley in left field. Chris Ionetta's hit one into the seats in left. Ionetta's had a big day, 3 extra base hits. That's his first home run of the season.
First home run. He's got plenty of power. He has just not been able to get on track. He came into this game hitting 123 on the season. A couple of doubles and now that home run. That'll help the confidence right there. No doubt about that.
Well, he's been swinging the bat well. He's got a pair of doubles and a home run. 10-6 Blue Jays lead. The Angels have 10 hits. Colin Cowgill, he's taken the collar so far. He's 0 for 3. Russell Martin's going to go out and have a chat with Aaron Loop. He falls behind Cowgill 2-1. Steve Delabar loosening up. Todd Redmond started this game. He went 4 innings. Then Ryan Tepera an inning and a third. Osuna an inning and 2/3. There's a base hit to center field for Cowgill. He gets his first hit of the afternoon. It comes with 2 outs. Everybody's got their hitting shoes on today.
Both teams.
That's the 28th hit in this game.
Everybody has a hit now in their lineup except the number 6 hitter and the number 2 hitter. Number 2 hitter is Mike Trout.
The 8th spot is number 6. Mark Krause and C.J. Cron have combined to go 0 for 3 with a walk. Roberto Osuna pitched an inning and 2/3. He threw 18 pitches. He's been efficient all season long, so he will be available tomorrow, I would think.
Hopefully the Blue Jays don't need him.
Well, and that's probably the thinking that John Gibbons made in his mind. Okay, inning and 2/3. We got a nice, comfortable lead. I'll get Osuna out, not knowing what the rest of the series is going to be like.
Save him. You might need him for a batter or 2 tomorrow. He could do that after just 18 pitches.
Absolutely. But that's the thing that goes into managerial decisions like that. You think about the whole series. You're not just thinking about a particular game. And Osuna has been the most reliable of all the relievers. So he gets you an inning and 2/3. You got a big lead. You say, okay, well, we'll save Osuna. We don't know. We might have a tight situation in the next 3 games.
It's been a long inning for Aaron Loop.
He's thrown 29 pitches.
Yeah. Now that suggests that he will not be available for tomorrow. That's number 30.
Especially given his back problems. And he's been dealing with that. Eric Ibar on deck. John Gibbons is thinking, is it ever easy? You score 10 runs on 17 hits and you got to sweat out every out.
Yeah, you should be able to sit back in your rocking chair and just chill out.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Tollefson from behind second. In time. Giovatella. That's 3 hits in a row after the first 2 were retired. Now John Gibbons has come out of the dugout. He's going to go down to first base and have a chat with Sean Barber, the first base umpire.
Well, I know he does not have a challenge. He lost that early. But he could ask him to take a look at it, can't he?
Yeah, the 8th inning, he can ask for an umpire's review. Tollison makes a nice play. Giovatella hustling down the line. Appeared to beat the throw easily.
Yeah. Gibby, I think, wanted to trot out there, talk to the umpire, give Delabar a little bit more time to warm up, and now he has signaled to the bullpen.
Well, Aaron Loup retires the first 2 in the inning and then gives up a home run, a single, and a single. Steve Delabar will inherit 2 base runners with 2 outs. Eric Ibar, the switch hitter, will hit.
Baseball stories. Sign up at nextissue.ca/baseball to get an extended 60-day free trial. A lot of stories in this game today, Buck.
There are stories from every angle in this game, that's for sure. Good hitting, not so good pitching, and some long balls. There have been 4 home runs in this game. Steve Delabar into the ball game. Delabar makes his 5th appearance of the season. He inherits 2 runners and 2 outs. Eric Ibar, leadoff man. Ibar has never seen a pitch he didn't think he could hit. He loves to swing that bat.
Yeah, especially a guy who comes into the ball game. You got runners on base. He's going to give you a fastball first pitch, and it's right there. Why not? And he goes up there. He trying to drive in some runs.
Well, this is where you need to get the out. Those next 2 guys you don't want to deal with. That ball is hit into center, and this should end the inning. Delabar gets Ibar to fly out to center. The Angels score a run but strand a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Colabello leads it off. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. pitcher into the ball game is Jose Alvarez, second lefty out of their bullpen. Alvarez has bounced around. He signed originally with the Red Sox. Then he went to Detroit, spent a little time in Florida. He last pitched last season in the big leagues, made 2 appearances for the Angels, and spent most of the time on the DL. He was injured last season, but he's healthy and back.
Got some time with the Tigers in 2013. There are his numbers in 11 games this year. Fastball, decent cutter, and a very good changeup. That's his bread and butter pitch right there. He'll try and keep you off balance by mixing up his speeds.
Chris Colabello, 0 for 1, but he's walked 3 times. Blue Jays have tied their season high with 17 hits. Two and 1 to Colabello. Now it's 2 and 2. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays have a 10-6 lead. This is the first of 10 home games here at Rogers Center. 4 against the Angels. Then the Mariners come in for a 3-game series, followed by the White Sox.
Good pitching from all 3 of those teams. That's what you're going to get. Not so much today from the Angels, but they have a good pitching staff. Seattle's got a terrific pitching staff. And then the White Sox, anytime Chris Sale, Smarja, Quintana, you get those guys, you know you're dealing with some pretty good pitchers.
Colabello strikes out. That's the first out of the 8th.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Beautiful holiday Monday. A lot of people enjoying Lake Ontario. We're just a couple blocks away from the lake shore. Kevin Pillar has gone 1 for 4. He was caught stealing for the first time this season in the 5th inning.
Sorta.
Off-speed pitch.
Sorta
caught stealing. He was called out. They went to the challenge. The review looked very, very close and looked as though he may have indeed beaten the tag.
It was a pickoff. They actually picked him off at first base, and Pujols' throw bounced to Giovatello, the second baseman, and it looked like on a replay that he might have been safe.
Popped up. Middle of the diamond. Shortstop Eric Ibar holds for it. 2 down. Well, we mentioned we're going to see some different ball clubs in here. The Angels will have a 4-game series, 3 more night games, and then the Mariners will come in over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, King Felix Hernandez will open up the series. James Paxton will pitch on Saturday afternoon. Then the White Sox, Chris Sale, Jeff Samardzija, and Robin Ventura will all be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Make a note, the Wednesday game is an afternoon game. Originally, it was scheduled as a night game, so if you look at the schedule, you might miss the fact that it is a day game. So make a note of it in your calendar. 12:30 start Wednesday afternoon.
Day game because they have to have a makeup game, the Chicago White Sox in Baltimore.
Makeup doubleheader, I believe. They had 2 games canceled in that riot situation around the ballpark in Baltimore, so they'll fly back on the off day and play a doubleheader. Steve Tollefson hits it deep into center, but Mike Trout cruises back. Jose Alvarez has a clean inning in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th, and it's not a save situation, but Brett Cecil will come on to try to close it out. On the schedule later on across 4 channels, you'll see the Brewers and the Tigers get a chance to see Miguel Cabrera. Anthony Gose off to a great start with the Tigers. And 8 o'clock, more great Stanley Cup playoff action. Lightning and Rangers game 2. The Rangers won the opener in a tight contest. 2 good hockey clubs going head-to-head from Madison Square Garden.
Well, I know what I'm going to be doing tonight. You can pop right in front of the TV watching that. Brett Cecil into the game. This is not a save situation. But Blue Jays want to nail this one down. Cecil, 15 games this year, 375 earned run average. The last time Brett worked was on the 16th a couple of days ago. That was against Houston. Had a couple of strikeouts in his 1 inning of work. A couple other defensive changes for the Blue Jays.
Justin Smoke in at first base for Edwin Encarnacion. First pitch strike to Mike Trout. Ezequiel Carrera is in right field for Chris Colabello. Mike Trout 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Curveball is in the dirt, ball on the strike. Trout just hasn't hit well in his career in this ballpark. Coming into this game, he had a 200 average for 12 games. 10 for 50.
Go figure.
Yeah. I mean, he hits everywhere. But we mentioned the Blue Jays among American League clubs have pitched him better than anybody. Right at the top of the zone. I think that's one thing that has been consistent is they pitch him upstairs.
Pound him up with those fastballs and in. They have pitched him tough, and it's not just here. For his career against the Blue Jays, he's just a 230 hitter.
Brett Cecil didn't have a lot of work on the road trip. Had just 2 appearances, a total of 2 innings, and Donaldson backhands it to Smoke, and Trout is 0 for 5.
Brett hasn't really had a lot of opportunities to save games this year. just three opportunities. They're either Blue Jays lose or they win by a lot.
Well, and Chill, you'll remember he started the season as the closer, but lost that job to Miguel Castro in the month of April. So Castro had 4 saves while he was here. Albert Pujols has homered and singled in 4 at-bats. This is the only game going on in baseball. There will be 6 night games tonight, including the Brewers Tiger game. We told you to be on all 4 channels later on. Mike Fiers against Kyle Lobstein. Tigers are 23-15. The Brewers are 13-25. 1-2 to Pujols. No swing.
Pujols homered earlier. That ball was measured at 426 feet, Buck. His home run earlier this game. That's the 14th home run here at Rogers Center, 425 feet or more. Most in the major leagues. The ball is flying out of here.
Yeah. We heard that during batting practice. You could see all the balls and where they were landing during BP. He went that time, and Pujols said, man, you asked on the first one. You could have asked on that one as well, but that's 2 outs as Pujols is called for the swing. Jose Bautista's home run that he hit in the 7th was measured at 445 feet. That's the 4th longest home run hit here at Rogers Center this season.
Then that's the 15th home run here, 425 plus.
His might have been the quickest to get to 445 feet.
You couldn't count the one.
Wow. The Angels had won 5 of their previous 6 games coming into this game. They're on a long East Coast road trip. 3 in Baltimore, 4 in Toronto, 3 more in Boston. The Angels went 7-1 in Toronto and Boston last year. That's going to slice into the seats off the bat of Cole Calhoun.
They've had a lot of success here at Rogers Center the last couple of seasons.
7-1 since July 1st of 2012, but it looks like it's going to start out differently here this afternoon. 29,306 in attendance on this Victoria Day holiday Monday. The Blue Jays 9-7 at home. So it's been a little bit better record here at home, and the fans anxious for a good homestand.
Yeah, break that losing streak.
Blue Jays have lost 5 in a row. Cecil strikes out 2 in the inning. 1-2-3. He retires the side in order. Good start to the homestand, and The offense was terrific.
Yeah, and there goes the losing streak right there. The offense today was relentless. I thought from the first pitch to the last, they scored in 3 innings, but they put up good at-bats, and they had a ton of 2-strike base hits today. It's good to see Blue Jays come home, start hitting the ball, and get it just enough pitching.
The Blue Jays scored 10 runs on 17 hits, and they hit just 1 home run. That was Bautista's 7th of the season. We'll be back tomorrow night. Aaron Sanchez goes up against Hector Santiago. Here's Jamie Campbell in Greg Zahn, Blue Jays Central.